It was weird because I subscribe to the whole idea of following in the footsteps of any humanitarian. Not here to cause trouble. I'm here to uplift, build, just show love. That was really weird for me because I was like, man, so we can like love these people, but we can't love the worldly people because they don't believe in Jehovah. It was a very strong juxtaposition in my existence. On one hand, I wanted to please the Jehovah Witnesses, but on the other hand, I wanted to show love to everyone. Growing up, constantly be pulled back to the back of the room like, Seth, we need to talk to you. I felt so bad. It created this crazy chaos. I didn't want to cause any arguments, but I also didn't subscribe to it.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to episode 63 of Ruse Radio. We are back at it again with a very special guest.
63.
63. Special 63. Special guest. Could you please...
60 motherfucking 3, dog.
63.
63.
63. Special guest, could you please introduce yourself?
Ruse Radio, we the best rappers, man.
We the best rappers.
Dude, my name is Seth. I'm an artist and a musician and just a local from around Flint area that's been here for a long time. And I look forward to our discussions and theories on whatever we talk about. We got things to say, I know that for sure.
We do got things to say, don't we?
Absolutely.
We got discussions, we got theories, we got things to
stories.
say. We got, what is it?
Stories. I gotta tell you the story. Yeah.
We do got stories. We got all kinds of things, folks. We got a bunch of gifts in our gift basket for you. I think I know where to start.
It's our gift to you.
I think I know where to start. So let's start at the big kahuna, the big one. You, growing up, were a Jehovah's Witness, I believe?
Yeah, yep.
Now, what was this like? I mean, the best way for you to describe this, I think, would be to start from as early as you can remember. Like, what are your earliest remembers? What are your earliest remembers? What are your earliest memories of, seeing that and being exposed to that? And, do you remember as a kid how that made you feel?
Yeah. That's a funny question because like I don't really harp on it too much, and I don't identify as a Jehovah's Witness anymore or anything like that, and it doesn't bother me. It's like I don't need that I guess you could say constant. I've never really been like a huge codependent person. I've been pretty damn independent my whole life, so it's like I don't need like a whole ideal of like this thing. So, but I mean, I was born into it. Like from the minute I can even, the earliest memories is, being involved. And that was like a huge part with being a Jehovah Witness is like, it's very, it takes a lot of your time. So your weekly life is just kind of like being a Jehovah Witness.
Yeah.
And hanging out with Jehovah Witnesses.
And what did Jehovah's Witnesses do? What do they do?
It was weird. They have these things called kingdom halls. And they're like these they're little churches. And then they go and they talk about Jehovah. And they sing songs that their governing body made, and they're just and then they really focus on a lot of different weird things, like 144,000 going to heaven and shit like that, and they have some very funny beliefs. I believe that they believe, from what I've figured out when I was a Jehovah's Witness, I think that they believe that there's going to be a resurrection of the righteous and the wicked, and everybody's going to come back after this thing called Armageddon, and they're going to I'm like, have you heard of population control? So you're telling me that everyone's going to come back? Like Hitler's going to come back? Jeffrey Dahmer's coming back? There's
Is that what they mean?
There's like the resurrection of the righteous and the unrighteous.
So everyone.
A worldly resurrection of everyone who's died besides 144,000 people that are going to go to heaven. So I'm like, that is wild to me because like, I don't believe that that's possible. Like it's not possible.
What makes that number make sense?
There's like some kind of like, there's a scripture in Revelations that talks about 144,000 chosen ones going to heaven and stuff.
So it's based on the Bible.
Yeah, it's based on the Bible, but it's their version of the Bible. It's the King James version, or no, it's called the New Testament or something like that.
Do you have any idea when this was invented?
I think it was around like the late 1800s. No, 19, probably like 1910 or something. No, probably earlier than that. But it's been a long.
That's not that long ago for.
I mean,
religion.
it's a relatively
really
new religion.
Yeah.
Based off of like the history for sure.
Because I mean, if you think about religions, I mean, most of the time those things go way back.
Yeah.
So to be saying 1910, that's about 100 years, a little bit over that. It's not much.
Yeah. It's a relatively
I think
new.
Scientology's not that far away.
Yeah. It's about the same. Yeah. Around there, like that kind of like birth of it, invention of religion type shit, where it's like. Okay, so Charles Taz Rutherford came and he met blah, 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 and they started this church and they wrote their Bible this way, and now we can't listen to anything anybody else says.
It's a really
and we have to
interesting
live in our
thing.
own like little fucking sect
of
humanity. Like I couldn't have like friends that were worldly. So that was really weird. So of course you start building like this major social network inside of the organization, and all your friends are Jehovah Witnesses.
They're all worldly people.
And not the worldly people. The worldly people are the bad apples that will spoil.
Oh, worldly's bad.
Yeah, worldly's bad.
Oh, okay.
So
what does worldly mean?
It means somebody doesn't believe in Jehovah.
Okay.
So that was like their thing. So we like. It was weird because I, in general, like subscribe to the whole idea of like just following in the footsteps of like any humanitarian, like good Samaritan, good dude. Not here to cause trouble. I'm here to like uplift, build, preach, but just show love, man. And that was really weird for me because I was like, man, so we can like love these people, but we can't love the worldly people because they don't believe in Jehovah. Right. So that was like really weird. It was just like a very strong like a weird juxtaposition in my existence, because on like one hand I wanted to like please the Jehovah Witnesses, but on the other hand I wanted to like be in love with everyone and show love to everyone. And so it was like I'm constantly like growing up and shit like that. It'd be like, be pulled back to the back of the room, like, Seth, we need to talk to you. Bad association spoils useful habits. I'm like, dude, Jesus hung out with crooks. Like, shut up. But like, it was like so dumb. So and I felt so bad. It created this like crazy chaos because I wanted to make them feel okay, and I didn't want to cause any arguments, but I also didn't subscribe to it, so it was just weird. But I mean, I grew up in it, straight up in it. You don't celebrate birthdays, you don't celebrate holidays, so like you never really get anything. It's like kind of just like, okay, cool. It's Halloween. And guess who doesn't get to do it? Me, bro. Yeah, because we're Jehovah Witnesses. And it's so stupid. And when it's something you don't believe in, it's like, God damn it. Like, what? This is what I was born into? This is crazy.
That is crazy. As a matter of fact, it's insane. I can't even imagine dealing with such a level of feeling unaccepted and feeling like you don't belong in the world that you were thrust into. And I imagine a lot of us feel that way all the time, regardless of the situations that we're in. There's a little word for that. We call it anxiety. I'm really all about just finding healthy ways to cope with these types of things. And so I'm super excited to announce that this podcast is sponsored by CBDFX. I use CBD every single day of my life. It is a non-psychoactive compound derived from the hemp plant. It is absolutely fantastic. It helps with sleep, appetite, motor control, memory, mood, so much more. I take about 50 milligrams to 100 every single day. It's an incredible sleep aid. I recommend it to everybody. They offer gummies, capsules, tinctures, tropicals, vapes, pet treats, and more. If you guys head down to that description inside of this video, you can get $20 off your first order as long as it's $65 or more. With all that being said, let's hear a little bit more about that Jehovah dilemma. Boom.
And they had like these really weird rules and shit. I'm focusing on the negative right now, but I'm going to bring up the positive, I promise.
Okay.
Because there is a couple of positive things about it, which are very funny. They would have a lot of rules, like they'd look down on you if you wore like white socks. If you didn't wear a suit coat, you were kind of like made fun of by like the community a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, it was super weird, dude.
Suit coats.
Yeah, 'cause you had to like dress to impress God, like
Was
dress
there,
your best, and it was like this thing with it that it was just like, yeah, if you don't wear a suit with your tie exactly the right way, and if you're wearing white socks, everybody's gonna point it out and be like, nice socks, bro. Like, shut up.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I got to a point where I started just kind of raging against the machine a little bit, and just was like, I'm just gonna do what I want to do, but I'm still gonna be a Jehovah Witness. I'm gonna try my hardest. Like I'm going to try, but I'm kind of done.
And so how did you rage against the machine then? What were your methods?
I just started just doing funny shit, like wearing white socks and shit, and like doing everything that you're not supposed to do, like as far as the physical, silly, stupid, non-spiritual, dumb shit. I just kind of like went against all that kind of stuff. But then it was like, I was bad. I was like shunned. I wasn't disfellowshipped or anything. I ducked a disfellowship shipment. That's for sure. But they were like, he's just bad association. Like he doesn't fit into our colony.
You were rejected.
So I was rejected, dog. But I was like, fuck that noise. Because like if you don't like me at my worst, then you don't get me at my best, like type shit.
Well, the thing is, and that proves your whole point. I mean, the fact that they reject you proves that like you're being your genuine self. You're proving that like you don't fit in this environment, and they're just validating that.
Yeah,
they're proving
absolutely.
the point.
Yeah,
like
1000%.
I don't fit in here. I'm gonna do what I want to do.
This is
show
not
you guys,
me.
This is not who I am. And you spoke with your actions.
Yeah. So it was cool, but there were some cool things about it. All right, so I'm gonna tell you this.
Oh, these are okay.
All right,
so first of all, I wanted to ask you a question, and I wish. Yes. There's a couple things I see. I said before the podcast I was going to write notes, and I was going to do this, and I didn't. And I realized as you were saying all that, I was like, I should have started writing a little bit ago. But I remember one of them, and it was So you said growing up, like I can't remember what you said exactly, but something like about being around other kids, right?
Yeah, maybe about the holiday thing.
Yes,
like,
the holiday thing, exactly. Having holidays.
That was a weird
kids
one.
Don't have holidays, but that's why I wanted to ask you. So, because of that, how did that make you feel when it came to like your relationship with other kids? Did you feel like they had a whole different experience than you? Like, did that almost kind of make you feel alienated in a way? Because your experience was so different than theirs, and you knew in your heart, like, this is not who I am. I kind of wish I did have what those kids had.
Yeah.
I have to imagine
but then I was
you
also
feel that
scared.
way.
I was, like, scared from my parents because I was trying so hard to just, like, be a Jehovah Witness, and I was so freaking nervous
It'd be a really weird feeling.
Like even like get to the point where I could even like talk about the whole idea of like, do I believe in this or don't I believe? I don't know. I'm so nervous that I don't believe this, but I can't. I should be believing this, and I'm gonna die.
Well, what I wanted
you know, just all that dumbass shit that goes on in a little kid's head. Yeah, and it was just wild, yo. So I just like kind of just fucking pushed through it. But my homies would always hook me up. They'd like for Halloween, like I'd have a couple of homies that would come through and they'd give me like a bunch of candy and shit because they knew I couldn't celebrate Halloween. And like my mom was pretty cool too. She would still like on Thanksgiving, we would always have our day after Thanksgiving dinner. It wasn't technically on Thanksgiving, so we were good Jehovah Witnesses. We weren't celebrating Thanksgiving by any means, but we had a Thanksgiving dinner the next day every year.
That counts.
Funniest shit in the world. I'm like, this is Thanksgiving dinner. Woo!
Whatever. Your mom just said it wasn't.
But it was good.
That's so funny.
So she was really cool about like that, like those little things. She tried like when it was Christmas. She would like buy us like all the things she could, like candy canes and all this stuff to kind of make us feel in the spirit, but we never had like a Christmas morning ever. I've never had a Christmas morning when I was a kid. There was one time that my parents, I think they felt bad and they were like, we gotta do something for these kids, you know? So they did like a family day, and it was like they gave us presents, and it was kind of like a Christmas morning, but it was a different day. It was like July or something, or like June or something. So, but the weird thing is, with the dichotomy of it is, like, my father was not a Jehovah Witness. So that was another fucking weird-ass thing, is because he was, like, kind of anti-Jehovah Witness, and my mom was, like, like the most zealous Jehovah Witness you could ever fucking know. Like, setting the bar way too high type shit. Like,
how'd that work out?
It was weird because my brother was the same way, and he's still the same way. So I was always just like the kid who was like the weird kid who like I can't do that. I can't do that.
Your brother's the same as your mom. Your brother's deep into it.
They had like this like blind faith, this unbelievably strong blind faith for some reason in this whole indoctrination, and I didn't have it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know. But I'm glad you guys are digging it. Like, you're killing it. You're digging it, dude. You're loving it, man. I'm not, though, yo. Like, and please don't hold me to these like levels, man. I can never be that. I was like, you guys have blind faith. I don't have blind faith in this. I really don't.
Now, let me ask you, too. Did their blind faith lead them to going up to people and throwing their Jehovah's Witness?
Yeah, we did that every Saturday morning, every Sunday afternoon. We would do my brother and sister and me we were called my brother and sister were called regular pioneers, and you had to get like 90 hours of field service in to be a regular pioneer. You didn't get paid or anything. You just did it. And you just did it off of blind faith and just like the love for Jehovah.
Yeah.
And then you go to people's doors, knock on people's doors, and you talk to them about God. You try to sell God to them. Basically, you sell God. You're a door-to-door God salesman. For real.
For free. You're not even getting paid.
Not getting paid. My brother and sister, they were like, we're going to be regular pioneers. So my mom would always make me be like I think it was special pioneer. I sound weird. But my mom would always be like, you're going to go in service with them. Like, so the whole summer I would just have to go out in service and go like walk around and talk to people about God. And it was something that I didn't really subscribe to at all. So it's just like I don't even know how to do it. Like
what did you say? Give me an example. You're
most of the time,
up to me and you have to sell me God, and you don't believe in it. You're You're in that mode.
Yeah.
You're there. You're
So
in that moment.
if
Back
somebody,
then.
if I was in a good spot or whatever, like if I was like, okay, I'm gonna really really try, it would be like, hello, my name is Seth Stolz, and I'm here today to talk to you about God. Like some dumbass shit, or like some like, who do you think really rules the world? And then like present the Watchtower and the Awake and be like, see, if you look up Ezekiel 13:44, it says, and God will perish in the ways of man. Like, what?
Is that a speech you've heard someone else give or something? Where'd that come from?
That's what you do. That was like our shit. You had to do that. Like, that was.
Where did you hear that?
I didn't hear. I just made that up.
Oh, but
was
it's
just
very similar
straight
to
off
that.
the top of the dome.
It would be something like that.
Yeah, but it'd be like that.
Oh, okay, I got
Yeah, it'd
you.
be like that. Like,
It was so
hello,
good that
my
I
name is
believed
Seth Stolz, and I almost sold you God, dog.
It sounded good enough to me. Dude, I mean, I don't know this religion. It could be anything.
Sound pretty good.
But yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So you're just like pulling up a chart, you're
just-
saying the lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like finally I got to the point where like when I was 21, I was starting to get to the point where I was like, this is so silly. Why am I doing this?
Oh
show?
yeah, it took you. So you were 21, you were an
I was
adult.
26 when I finally left.
But you were 21 when it.
When
Did you say 21 a second ago?
Yeah.
So you were
21 when I
there's-
started really, really, really questioning it, and then I was just like, I can't do anything, but I can't get out of this because my family. It's my family, my brother, all my brothers and sisters. If I leave this, I can't talk to any of them. My mom and all of my friends. Like if I left, like I wouldn't be able to talk to any of them because they would shun me basically. So like I couldn't leave. So I just basically played the part for a while, as long as I could, and then when I was like 26, that's when I finally like was just, it was like my last draw of that place. I was like, I can't do this. This is so silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right, so they have this thing called the Theocratic Ministry School. Theocratic Ministry School, bro.
Okay.
That's that shit.
Okay.
They
I'm
have
listening.
This shit is so funny, dude. All right, so the Theocratic Ministry School was like this thing on Thursday nights. And my mom enrolled me when I was 7 years old. And you go up and you give a sermon to the congregation. So it basically starts with like an introduction to captivate the audience. And then you go into like this Bible reading. And then the outro is like basically how it like applies to life in general. Just applying it to general life. The verses, which it was so silly because you got like so they were like, this is you're being judged on poise and confidence, use of gestures, and eye contact. And you got exactly 5 minutes to do this captivating introduction, and then read the Bible verses, and then do an outro to apply it to everyday life. And then you got judged. If you went 501, they would ding you, and you'd have to get off the stage. And then after you were done with your presentation, they would like open it up to the whole like audience to like critique you.
Okay.
So what did Seth do really well here? What did Seth do really bad here? Blah 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 blah. I was into that from 7 years old.
Comedy.
It
like
was,
you're doing
dude.
stand-up comedy, and they're about to critique your routine.
Yeah, for real, dude. It was selling God, dude. It's like selling God, like teaching you how to sell God. So I was like, man, this is so crazy. I recognized how ridiculous it was, but I was like, this is so funny because it's probably gonna make me like the best salesperson.
Yeah.
and it like good teaching, or I mean, good talking, and like the ability to understand how like communication works. So I appreciate that side of it. And of course, any religion, it's like kind of a moral compass. So I kept it very loose. But I keep like, I know my morals, and I know like where I'm at in life, and I know who I am, and like that whole good versus evil type shit.
How old were you?
When I left,
when you were doing this?
Just, I mean, like, it was just kind of the general, like, the whole idea of it from being born.
Like when
to,
you were going to giving these speeches and whatnot.
from 7 years old until 26.
Oh, the whole time.
Whole time.
Oh, that's just a thing
Yeah,
that you
it
always
was just
do.
yeah. You'd have to do one or like one every two months or something like that, or
Oh.
one a month or something. If you're really good, they'd be like, "We want to have Brother Stolz back." And my brother was like, I was actually the best because I sucked so bad that people were always rooting for me because I had such bad anxiety, dude. I couldn't even fucking function, dude. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking pass out.
Yeah.
But people would be rooting for me so hard, dude. And it was so like kind of mad. Yeah, you got it, Seth. Because I worked so hard to just do it, man. Because I was just so freaking nervous growing up.
Hey, man, they believed in you.
Yeah, they believed in me, and that was nice.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful thing. And, you know, I mean, there's a lot of people that a lot of really good relationships that I gained from it. But all in all, like, it's really just kind of one of those things where it's just another organized religion, you know, with its views. And if you believe it, you believe it. If you need it, you need it. If you don't, you don't. But
yeah, man, I was going to say before that a lot of the things you were saying about, like, the way that you felt and the way that you felt like you couldn't express that, I think that's a very universal feeling for a lot of people who are in families that have certain, not even necessarily just religions. It could be a tradition. It could be anything that's going on in the family.
Sexual orientation.
Yeah.
Anything that divides families and stuff, man, is just so sad.
Yeah, because I mean, I think a family goes a lot deeper than that.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? Blood is thicker than
water.
Water? Is that what it is?
I think so.
But yeah, I mean, there's a truth to the fact that the people who, I don't know, is that even what that quote means? I was just pulling that out from out of nowhere.
No, I mean, it's true though. I mean, like, blood is thicker than water is, I mean, you know, the whole idea that we're blood, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, because I guess if you want to interpret it that way, we are blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I meant by it.
Yeah.
And then I feel like, you know, it's a very complicated thing when you're growing up and that's your family, and that's why it's such a big problem, because we are so connected to our families.
Yeah.
So if that's your family,
exactly.
it's not just like you're rebelling against your religion, you're rebelling against your entire family and everything you've ever known.
Whole social fucking spectrum, everything.
Yeah.
Completely gone. So think about like that weighs on you so hard, you know, and like then I got married to a Jehovah Witness, and we both, like, the last day that I decided that I was not going to be a Jehovah Witness was we were at a thing called the Tuesday night book study, and a family hosted them every week, like a certain elder or something like that. And I was living in Ann Arbor at the time, and we were studying the book of Job or something, and it was about like false idols, like worshiping false idols. And when we were studying about it, I looked behind the guy who's like the elder of our congregation at the time, and he was hosting for that night. He had like literally like an altar made behind him towards the Red Wings. It was like two fucking like hockey sticks on one side, two hockey sticks on the other side. Steve Yzerman fucking jersey, and like Red Wing paraphernalia all over his fucking fireplace. And we're sitting here, and he's got his back to it, and he's talking about false idolatry. And I was like, Michelle, that's an altar behind him, look it. And she was like, holy shit, yeah, it is. I was like, man, that's crazy. Yo, we're talking about, like, not building altars to fake gods, and, like, dude, he's got a straight-up altar behind his head right now, and he's talking shit. And he was, like, the goofiest dude in the world.
That's a great catch, man.
Yeah, and so I was like, man, chill. That's when I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
it.
it'd just be exhausting, right?
It was stupid.
I'm surprised you
finally-
lasted 26
years, dude. It was
I didn't
wild.
know it was that long.
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
That's crazy.
It was wild.
But I mean, like, you
But
know.
I mean, there was, like there was good times, there's bad times, but I mean, it was just so weird to be raised in such a different type of, like, not a lot of like no traditions, like no traditions. Like, which is weird, man. That's kind of like what keeps families together, I feel like.
That's what makes
like,
life
that's what
something-
makes family
You have
family.
goals. You have things to look forward
Yeah,
to.
exactly.
I mean, not even just a family, but just as an individual.
Yeah, exactly.
But it keeps the family together in part of that.
Yeah.
Like, we all have things to look forward to as a group.
and we should.
Yeah.
So it's like growing up without that was kind of, I was just like, man, I would hate to subject. Like, I have a 14-year-old son. The first time I ever went trick or treating
Yeah.
was the first time I took my son out trick or treating when he was 2.
Wow, you
was
told
the
me that
first
before. That's wild, man.
Time I ever went trick or treating was, and I had a panic attack.
That's kind of like one of the
'Cause I
things
was
you told me
like,
that made me really
it
want to
made-
ask you about all this.
Yeah.
'Cause that just blows my mind. If you had a panic attack,
I had a
yeah.
panic attack, because it reminded me of walking up and talking to people about God.
Right.
And just that whole feeling was just so
Door to
weird.
door to door to door.
to door.
Yeah.
I was like, this is crazy. But it was wild because, that was the first time I ever went trick-or-treating. Was the first time my son, he was 2 years old, I took him out trick-or-treating by myself. And
Wow.
he waddled around with this little fucking dragon costume, cute as can be. And I was just like, this is so weird. This reminded me of being a Jehovah Witness. Holy shit.
Well, it makes you feel any better. He probably had a great time.
Yeah, he did. He would
Probably
just try to
has-
run in to everybody's house, and I'd have to be like, yo, get back here. Fucking,
Really?
Yeah.
Is he that into it?
yeah, it was fun.
That's cool.
But yeah, it was wild. I mean, I thought about that, and I was like, that is crazy, dude. It's the first time I've ever celebrated, or I've ever trick-or-treated.
Yeah.
And it's the first time my son ever trick-or-treated.
Yeah,
That is
like
so
you guys both had
crazy.
that at the same time. That was the same moment for both of
Yeah,
you.
so we always try to make holidays very special for our son because we didn't get to experience them. That was, one thing that both me and his mom always said is just try to make him fun, give him that like extra love, So it's always been fun.
It's just funny because like
But it's
you've never
crazy.
done the holidays before, so you have to
Gotta
readjust.
do it up, but
yeah.
or sometimes I forget. Like sometimes I'll like I mean like I don't.
Oh, you guys do something on this day?
Yeah, because it's like there's no like recollection.
literally wouldn't know.
Like,
Yeah.
my parents wouldn't talk about it. Like no Easter.
Wait a minute.
no.
Valentine's Day? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, exactly. Like my mom would get mad at me when I got Valentine's Day cards. I had like the most Valentine's Day cards in my kindergarten class,
Oh, so that was still big.
and my mom got mad at me because I had so many Valentine's Day cards, and I was like, I don't know how to explain this, but because I'm a kindergartner,
Yeah.
but people like me,
Yeah.
and it was so funny though, like to think back on that. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that to a little kid? Like you're
my kid got
in
Valent-
trouble,
Bro, if
You're
my-
getting grounded
yeah,
because you got Valentine's Day cards.
To get mad and to like make the kid feel bad about it. 'Cause
Chill
if my
out.
kid got that, I'd be like,
Whoa, Pimp,
you?
get it, pimp.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up, kid. Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, go
Alright.
look in the mirror and like go, you know what I'm saying? I'd be
Leave a
like,
little
go
space.
flex in the mirror for a second.
Leave a little space for the rest of us, homie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
I'd be very proud of my creation.
I'd gas him up like a motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
Like.
So with all that, I don't know, that hurts, man. That hurts
Yeah,
to
it's
hear.
weird.
But it's just part of the whole thing. I mean,
But yeah.
I think a lot of people, that's why it all goes back to just a religious way of thinking. I think it creates this rigid ideology, no matter which one it is.
Absolutely.
Like, they're all very... Some are a little bit more lenient than others, and I think it just depends on who's the person wielding the religion, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like you were kind of lucky with the way that your parents would, at least, they had some lenience.
the
They
good
would
thing,
do
again,
Thanksgiving dinners,
Yeah.
somewhat.
So the saving grace, honestly, at first I was like, this motherfucker. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Was my dad. I always thought he was goofy and like he didn't. I mean, I knew he was smart, but I was just like so indoctrinated with the religion that he would question it sometimes, and it would make me like really mad because I'd be like, it wasn't because I didn't agree with him. It's because I did agree with him, and I couldn't say anything because I didn't want to hurt my mom's feelings, and like I didn't want my brother and sister to be mad at me and shit like this. But my dad was super fucking analytical, so in the back of my head, I was like, yeah, this motherfucker knows what's up. Like he knows what's going on, but I'd be like, I can't think that way. Like, I can't think that way. I gotta have faith in Jehovah and blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just imagine, dude, it's got to be
very
that type of thing
nerve-wracking.
where it's just you can't, like, I don't know if this is a reach, but, like, just imagine people in North Korea. If you grew up there, you're born there, you live there forever.
Yeah, exactly.
You might feel that way, but there's no way for you to possibly express that would result in anything but the worst thing possible
Absolutely.
for you and your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
they create that environment for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just the ultimate way to go in that direction, but it just shows like the psychology checks out.
Psychology checks out. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like the thing. I mean, with organized religion is like it's all about kind of psychology for the most part. I mean, it's just basically like brainwashing people to get to like view,
to be afraid of rejecting those ideas,
exactly.
no matter what they are.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
they wouldn't let us. They call them apostates. Like apostate, like you can't read an apostate letter.
Okay.
So it's like the ideals that the Jehovah Witness organization might not have it right. Imagine that. Whoa. Fucking Jehovah Witnesses got it right. They figured it all out. Yeah. The Buddhist monks that have been like in Tibet and like devoted their whole life into spirituality and existence and existing as one with God in a spiritual fucking sense. They didn't figure it out.
yeah.
Jehovah Witnesses did. Who eat Arby's, eat McDonald's, get gas. They totally take advantage of the world, but then they don't let you hang out with the worldly people. And it's just goofy. It's like, man, like, come on. It's obnoxious. It got to the point where I was like, you guys really think you got it figured out? Hey, this is hilarious. Like, you guys did it.
Yeah.
You cracked the motherfucking code.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So let me ask you then, because I mean, every religion's got an end game.
Yeah.
With Scientology, I know that the whole thing is you learn more and more the deeper you get. I don't know how they phrase it, but I know there's different levels to
It's
Scientology.
attaining Thetan.
Yeah. Do you know a lot about Scientology?
Yeah, because when I lived in Clearwater, Florida, it was like the epicenter of Scientology. So
Wow.
like literally like the headquarters of Scientology. So me and Michelle were like, this is the weirdest shit in the world. We didn't realize that until we moved there. And I was like, dude, it's like a fucking science fiction film here, dude. Because it's like super nice and it's on the ocean and shit. But there's like all these people walking around in the same outfits, doing this, getting on buses and just have their folders and shit. And I was like, who are these motherfuckers? So we figured out.
How close were you?
We were like 2 miles away from the main epicenter. There was literally like vacant. There were like these like roadside, ocean side like motels that just housed Scientologists. They'd pick them up in black buses or in blue buses with completely blacked out windows. They would take them, drop them off to buildings with completely blacked out windows. They'd all have their folders. Nobody knew what the fuck they were doing. I mean, I don't know what the fuck they were doing. And then there would like there's like these pop-up places that like learn about the Scientologists and blah, blah, blah. And you could like walk in and just like learn about them. So like what their whole thing was. Dude, I've seen some funny ass shit, dude. They tried to get me to be a Scientologist. For real. They were like, they were stalking me. I swear to God, dude.
They do that.
Yeah.
I've seen some crazy YouTube videos
Yeah,
where
it was
like
wild.
because I didn't, you hear that and you think, oh, they're stalking you, like
No,
that you're
it's-
exaggerating. Like, no,
Nope.
there's videos and they're not staged where it's like somebody's at their door and that's why they're recording because it's some
Dude, there
crazy
would be-
person
there
at
would
the
be,
door. And they're like, they've been staring at him for a while and they're like, why are you following me? And they're like, I'm not following you, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Like they're trying to play it cool. Like, but
So-
the Scientology person, you can tell just by the way that they're talking. And I know this video exists.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
out
Well,
there.
so my personal experience is like when I was living in Clearwater, like right close to downtown, I was driving an Audi A4. I was balling, and I was doing really, really well. And I think that they just like realized that I was like I had a little bit of money, and they wanted me to be part of their shit, which is so weird. So they would like literally send like these fucking trucks. 2 black trucks would be out in front of our fucking house all day, dude. I would go downtown Clearwater just to walk down and grab a coffee, and people would like come up to me and like ask me if I wanted to go to these parties and stuff like that. It was bizarre, dude. I mean, I lived literally 5 minutes from Tom Cruise's, like one of his houses in Clearwater. So his Christy Alley lived in the same area and stuff like that. I wasn't balling like that, but I was doing pretty well. But it just turned out it was such a weird little fucking epicenter of Scientologists. I was like, this is crazy.
You found out after.
Yeah, after I moved in.
Wow.
It was so wild. But
That
so then
is
I had to
wild.
like do all this research on Scientologists. I like learned everything about them. So I could
And
just fuck with
that
them.
brings us back to.
Yeah.
So it's the theta thing. Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Theta?
so it's Thetan.
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 And-
Achieving Thetan. It's like achieving like ultimate clarity or whatever type shit. And I don't know. Attaining Thetan, yes. It's like clarity, understanding of some kind of L. Ron Hubbard ass bullshit.
Well, I know
give me
that-
science fiction film, like science fiction writer dipshit who made a fucking religion.
From my understanding, what makes it so wild, so outlandish, is that the deeper you get into it,
It is
the older you
insane.
get, the more years you've invested, the more they've emotionally manipulated you, the more insane
Yeah.
the religion is. And I think
Yeah.
that's all kind of part of it. It's
Yeah.
like once you're in that deep, you're like,
And-
I've
and-
invested all this.
And Jehovah Witnesses are kind of like that. It's like similar to that because of the fact that it's like not so much of a Scientology is definitely more of a monetary like fucking trap. Just give us money. The more money you spend, the higher you get up, the more you get closer to reaching Thetan, attaining Thetan. It's just like, oh goddamn, chill out. Like that's not real.
Nah,
But like,
man.
but
I'm
it's
gonna
but it's
attain
like
Thetan.
investing into something for so long that you don't want to get out of it. You know?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
or
and
you're
it's
like
the,
in-
the
or you're
fallacy
in
of
it.
sunk costs, my
Yeah,
friend.
you're in it. Like I had this lady one time come up to me and ask me if I'd kill her husband. She was like, he's like one of the main guys for Scientology, blah 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 blah. And I was like, why would you even ask me that question? That is so crazy. And she's like, well, I seen your neck tattoo. I thought maybe you did things like that. I'm like, no, ma'am, I don't do things like that. I'm sorry. But like, really, for real, that
actually
actually happened. Yeah, yeah. She was
That's
like the
wild.
head fucking real estate agent for like the top Scientology. Dude, there's weird shit. So much weird shit, dude, that happened to me when I was living there with in that area. It was crazy. And then coming from being a Jehovah Witness, I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like, chill out.
Yeah.
Let me be.
Well,
Organized ass
so
religion.
it's significantly worse. than Jehovah's
Yeah, but
Witnesses.
you know, it actually probably made me a little bit more aware and like conscious about watching it, and like not falling into it and shit like that. You
How
know?
old were you when you lived here?
I moved there when I was 38, I believe. So older, yeah, older.
So long after you had
Yeah,
already
it was like
moved away
2012.
from-
It was it was after me and my wife were married, got a divorce, had a kid, and all this stuff happened. But I got a job, so I had to move down south. So we picked Clearwater, Florida, because I was like, you can pick where you want to move if you guys will move with me.
Really?
Yeah.
Where were you
so
at the time?
in Flint.
Wow, that's a bold
Yeah,
decision.
it was bold. Yeah, it was bold. So, and she was like, she did it. It was cool. And so we moved down there, and it was cool for a minute. I mean, it was cool. There was a lot of really great things about it, but it was odd.
Yeah.
The Scientology shit was weird. It was bonkers. You could like, I'd be sitting down with my buddy, like having a beer downtown, dude. It'd be like completely dead downtown at like midnight, like fog going through the downtown, and like these people still walking around with the same suit and with these fucking folders and shit like that, just going in and out of doors and shit. I was like, this is the fucking weirdest Anunnaki ass shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, like, we're all thinking about it, like, oh, that's not that weird. Like, if you were there,
dude,
just imagine being the guy that's just chilling at night. That
just
you're next
chilling.
to your house. You live here.
Yeah, just sitting down on the sidewalk and just watching the downtown area and just being like, this is the weirdest shit in the world. It is 2:00 in the morning and these motherfuckers are still walking around with these goddamn folders. What's in those folders?
Yeah.
Like, what is in those?
It always folders?
It's just
Every
always
time.
folders. They'd always hold them like this. They'd be walking really fast, and they'd have this. And there'd be like class distinctions. Like it'd be certain people wore brown suits, but they were all fashioned the same way.
Really
Some people would
weird.
wear gray ones, and then and then there was like a maroon or something like that. So it was just like class distinction type shit. So it was, yeah, you could see like the fucking lab rats were like fucking just like scared shitless, just walking around like with whatever. I'm like, what the fuck y'all doing? Chill. Like, this is the ocean.
Yeah.
We're on the ocean.
Man,
So weird.
what is their lives?
I did. That's all it was, dude. It was that. It was just they would pick them up at 8:00 in the morning, and then they would drop them off at 11:30 at night at these two like they were like little motels. They were right next to my house, so I would always see it.
Was it the same people, though? Could you recognize
Always
them?
the same people. Yeah, they lived there. So they had like 2 to a dorm, 2 to a little room, or 3, probably like 4 to a room, because it was just like they would just barrel out of the buses, the blacked out window buses, and just all go into, and then you'd like walk by and you'd see them all working out and like in the like courtyard and stuff. They're like all just like robot.
Maybe that was
looking.
their role in their religion, was like they like, or like, you know, their form of like,
It's like-
maybe it was a form of punishment, even like, hey, you
Yeah.
have to walk outside every day to parole.
Yeah.
Maybe they were security.
Yeah, who knows?
Who
Yeah.
knows?
It was just weird, and there was no vacancy. But that's a funny little thing too about Jehovah Witnesses is they have actually a thing called Bethel,
Okay.
and it's like the Watchtower and Track Society, and Bethel is it's in New York, but the countryside, Walk Hill, New York, and basically they print all of their publications there. Like they print their Watchtower and Awakes and everything like that. They do all the packaging and sending them out to the thousands, hundreds of thousands different congregations in the world. And all the people that work there, they live there. So it's like a compound. It's weird. My brother went there. But there used to be one in Brooklyn. That's where the original one was. That's the one my brother went to. And it was just it was like a fucking hamster. It just like, reminded me of a big fucking connected hamster like thing. Like where just everybody's just walking around and nothing, no fresh air, like nothing. It's just like this weird fucking underground tunnel looking ass place. And they were like a totally like self-sufficient community. They never like went anywhere. They all just hung out there and they just worked and ate and slept and worked and ate and slept basically. And maybe hang out with their friends and talk about Jehovah God. Yeah. You know, like dumb shit like that. Or you guys want to study the Watchtower before we actually study the Watchtower tomorrow? Like what? And
And their job was to do what exactly? What was
it's
their
just like
working?
there to like just like facilitate the whole overall body of the movement of circulation of literature to I don't really even know what the fucking point is, honestly. It's just like I mean, I guess my brother worked in the print office, but like, there was a lot of fucking people that like lived there, like a lot of people, and like people did like laundry and people did like agriculture and stuff like that, because they were like a totally self-sustaining. They had a dentist, like an optician, on premise. They had a insurance company that they would get they had their own gas station. It was like the weirdest shit in the world, dude. That one's still going. It's in Waukegan, New York. It's called Bethel.
Okay.
And it's just like, it's like this spiritual work camp. And motherfuckers are excited to go there, dude. Because they're so indoctrinated, or they're just trying to like please their family and shit. And it's just bizarro land times 1,000. It's so weird.
Yeah. When you win the Super Bowl, you say, "I'm going to Bethel."
Yeah, I'm going to Bethel, dog. Yeah, that was a really weird thing, too. My brother was in Bethel, so I had to go visit him a couple of times there. My mom made us go. I was just like, this is so stupid. This is like a fucking, literally like a goddamn gerbil, like, tank with just a bunch of connecting, like, tubes going to other places. Like, this is the most bunk-ass shit I've ever seen in my life.
The most bunk ass shit.
Silly, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and they want to go there. They like it.
People, they were like, chomping at the bit. My niece and nephews want to go there already, and they're like fucking 13, because it's gonna like, like what the fuck? You want to go to Bethel?
Yeah.
Chill out.
It's gonna change their lives.
Yeah, it's gonna, you're gonna, draw closer to Jehovah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that means.
I mean, I wonder if other religions.
But some people need it,
anything.
and I don't.
Yeah.
Ahead, sorry.
Well, I wonder if other religions have anything similar. I mean, and to your point, some people need it, and other people don't. I feel like that's the real thing that religion touches on. I think when it comes down to it, like I have to respect what religion stands for.
Yeah, absolutely. Me
ultimately,
too.
None of us know life is very. It's a very confusing thing.
Yes.
And none of us know the answers. And so for something to provide some type of closure or to give us some type of feeling that there are answers at all.
Yeah.
Like there is
some people really need that.
Yeah, it just makes them it makes them feel more secure in moving
That's
forward.
Cool.
It makes them feel like there are rules to this game.
Or somebody that's helping
completely...
helping them through life, like through the power of God, I'm going to get through this, like that type of stuff.
Well, I think that is that. That's like that.
Like, I respect
they're
that.
using that as a way to move forward.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, and they need it. They need it.
Yeah.
Like without it, they can't move. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so I just like when it comes to that, I growing up I heard it, maybe not so much anymore, but some kids they like it's like, oh, religion, fuck religion, like I hate religion.
Yeah,
and
I'm not like that.
There's some older people like that. I feel like a lot of people grow out of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like when it comes to that type of mentality, it's just like, yeah, you might feel that way, but those people, everybody needs something.
Needs it. Somebody needs
something to grasp onto, no matter what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody needs it. Yeah.
Just let them do it. Like I'm not mad at you about it. It's just I don't need it.
Yeah. And that must be the confusing part about growing up in this way and feeling this way, because they do need it, and in your heart like this is where they're at. This is what they want. And I don't want to like be the guy that's gonna rain on that parade.
Man. I didn't want to be a jerk and be all like, man, because like a lot of people were like that. Like I would watch
like your dad.
My dad would be kind of like that. He'd be like he'd call out my mom all the time and shit on it. And be like, it was funny.
Your mom did not enjoy
did
that.
Not enjoy it. But
it's gotta be.
And we all of us kids would be like really like backing our mom because we just like love our mom and we don't. So we're like, Dad, no, that's not true. And he's like, and it was like exactly right. Like it's like all stuff that's like now. Like if he was alive, I'd be like, I totally understand you, homie.
Thanks for saying that, Dad. Thanks for planting that thought in my brain.
For real. Good looking.
But yeah, man. I mean, like, It's just a tough thing because, especially if you have a lot of love in your heart too, and you love the people around you, and there's no hard feelings. You don't. It's not like you hate this religion. It's not like because a lot of kids rebel in different ways. A lot of kids, they'll just straight up let you know, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And they'll just go all the way. Yeah. And it's good that you didn't do that. It's good that you had some balance to it. You only rebelled you only broke the religious rules.
I didn't get disfellowshipped. I didn't. I was good enough to do. No, but I should be disfellowshipped. But that's okay. I don't even mind. This is my will and testament saying that is okay. Because I don't really. I'm never gonna be a Jehovah Witness ever again.
Never.
Ever.
Ever.
Ever. No, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Not even maybe if you were in an acting role.
I would do it as an acting role.
Okay. There you go. It's the one time.
Or to. Actually, I have thought about being a Jehovah Witness and like just completely doing it as a joke, and then documenting it, and like just take over and just like just to the point where you get to like where you're gonna give your talk and then you just start talking, not shit about it, but just like, yo, dude, the reality of life is nobody really knows anything about anything. We're all just specks on this earth. And like go down this like philosophy that's like completely counter like the Jehovah Witness like thing. Yeah. Which I think would be funny to do, but I don't know. But I would do it as an actor or like something like that. Yeah. That'd be funny.
I think Jehovah's Witness is ripe for content. If you ask me, there's a lot
doubt.
There.
There's some funny ass shit.
Because I mean, especially if you're somebody who's been in it and you know it, because you have to imagine there's a lot of people who know how you feel.
There's some funny ass fucking stories, dude, about that crazy ass wacky clan.
Yeah. Yeah, and they really feel those ways.
Yeah,
they're
for
not
real,
kidding.
dude. They are faithful.
They're faithful.
Blind faith. They're like straight up Isaac. Like, I'll kill my son for God. Like, what?
You think, like, they'll say that?
Like, they don't, you can't get a blood transfusion. Like, if your little kid is dying and needs a blood transfusion, you're not allowed to have, your son has to die instead of getting a blood transfusion. If you did get a blood transfusion for somebody, if your son was dying, you would get disfellowshipped.
Okay.
So you get, like, cast out of so it's like, what the fuck?
Well, I've heard of like
chill out.
I wish I could remember the name of the religion, but it's some type of spiritual religion, and their whole idea was that your body can heal itself, and whatever is will be, and so just by sending the right thoughts and the right energy and knowing how to channel that moment and
trusting
drive
God
it in that direction. Yeah,
Trusting
but also that
God.
Your spirit is God in a way, and that you're guiding that in that direction. You're guiding the experience because you have control over it. It is you. Yeah. But those people would say, because of that, I imagine a lot of those parents would say, you're not going to the hospital. We're keeping the kid here. They're going to be able to handle it because they believe that they will be able to go through this. And you know, that'd be a big thing for them. I wish I could remember the name of the religion, but it's like it's from not that long ago in the early last century, somewhere in the last century, probably early in there.
It's Pentecostal?
No. No. I have a book in the other room that is it. I would just run
Mormonism?
No. Wait, what'd you guess?
Mormonism?
Mormonism? No.
Mormonism. That's a weird name. I mean, that's a weird word. I haven't said that.
Mormonism.
Mormonhood.
Yeah.
Shit.
Shout out all my Mormon mommies.
Hey, Ma. Shit. Oh, man. Yeah, but that's about that. I mean, like, I really just kind of once I drew away from it, the more ridiculous it became. And just the general idea of, like, organized religions just completely went out of my brain. And then I was able to start focusing on, like, actual spirituality. And like, being one with, like, the earth and being thankful and not having to be, like, I don't want to, like, I don't want to think about it as, like, a man up in the sky behind a desk, and it's, like, white and cloudy, and he's wearing all white, and he's got really, like, long hair and shit, and he's got a judge. Like, what? Like, that, no. It's not God to me, man. God is, like, everything. God is
I
everything.
agree. And I feel like, to me, you know, just my experiences and the things that I've seen and the things that I've felt and the ways that life has guided me in certain directions and things have just fallen into place in some ways.
Yeah.
It truly just makes this occur to me more and more that
Yeah.
like if there is a God, the God is within me and it's within you and it's within all of us, and we're living through that
Yeah.
God. We get to experience that God.
Yeah.
And if that God wouldn't judge you if you do right or wrong, it's just because the God does wrong. Like the God is everything.
Yeah.
The God wouldn't judge. The God is
That's
all.
that Toltec philosophy, dog.
Is it yin and yang?
The first person
Toltec.
Toltec philosophy.
Is that how you say it? Toltec?
Toltec. Yeah.
Tol or toe?
Tol.
Toltec. Okay.
Toltec.
And
It's
what
like
is
the whole
that?
idea of like you being your first person, like, and you're the only thing that matters. Everybody else is just secondary characters.
told
You're
me about
your
this in
only
the last
god.
podcast we did together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like kind of that theory.
But I'm sorry, say that again for people who didn't hear the last podcast. What is it?
It's just like an idea of like being your own. You are your own god, and everybody else is secondary characters. You're like the first. No matter what you're gonna do, what you're gonna do. It's just.
You're the main character.
You're the main character, and you're the only person that can write your story.
See, but the differences between that and what I'm saying is that I think that the God exists within all of us. So
Yeah.
they're just as much of that God as you are. You're not the main
word.
character.
Yeah.
They're also the main character.
Yeah.
We all are.
But-
so maybe it is that philosophy,
is-
but it's like accepting that we can all be the main character, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like
And
we're
that's
all main
good.
characters
I
to our
feel
own
I feel
stories.
that same way. I feel like everything is connected.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah,
I feel
there's some
like,
type of universality to
yeah,
things. Yeah, for sure.
I think what you do, there's got to, I don't know, like I think about this a lot, and I don't know if it's like, I have no idea. It's just like about the whole idea of like a force, like an invisible force that just like kind of pulls you to one, like the more you make good decisions
Yeah.
and healthier decisions, it's going to pull you in the right direction for the most part. And if you're doing some dirty ass, nasty ass shit, it's going to pull you into another direction that is just going to be like creating your own hell or creating your own heaven in a weird way, like a very small scale, like a magnetic force that just pushes us off like just a millimeter every now and then.
Yeah.
Just so we're like staying in this good spot, like where we're protected.
So it's almost like
Like
you probably haven't played the
angels.
game Red Dead Redemption 2, right?
No.
So in that game, there's I believe it's called a like morality. I think it's a morality meter type of thing, and so the main character has their.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I mean I've seen it in other games before.
Well,
Yeah.
what it is for people who don't know, you have a thing on the bottom of the screen as you're
Yeah,
playing
that's just funny.
honor. It has an honor
Yeah,
system, is
like-
what it's called, and so it goes back and forth depending on the things you do. Like if you just kill
you do
random
good-
cowboys,
if you do
it's
good
gonna go
stuff,
down.
yeah, it's
but if
gonna
you
go
help
down, yeah.
people and you do things that are generally good, it goes up,
goes up,
and then different things happen to you. And you're saying that life is that way.
I kind of feel like life is that way. a
Yeah,
little bit.
okay.
Yeah. I really do. Yeah, that's
I
a good.
get-
That's a perfect way to look at it. I mean, really, truly, that's it exactly it. I mean, to explain it like that. Is
I
good.
like that way of looking
because
at it.
yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple of video games in the past with like that. Like if you're doing good, you can either choose the dark side or the good side, kind of thing.
And the game has different
And the
endings
game's different,
depending
yeah,
on
yeah,
which way you
exactly.
go.
Yeah,
Just like real life.
Yep. Yeah. So it's like, what are you gonna choose?
What are you
What you
gonna
gonna do?
That's interesting. That is a good way of representing it. I think it's the fact that you are the energy you attract just on a larger scale.
Yeah.
It's like, how does that branch out throughout your life? How do those choices
Yeah.
move on
How
throughout
does it affect
everything?
How does it affect your DNA? How does it like what makes us like what
Yeah.
like what protects me from that person who's trying to fuck me up or
Yeah.
what makes me keep on missing that person that I want to see or something like. It's just I think we just have like a stronger force than we probably even can wrap our brain around because we can't use our brains very good.
Yeah. So what do we do about that? What's the answer?
I don't know, dog.
Man.
V8.
V8? Yeah. Man, I just feel like the whole thing about spirituality though is that that's just kind of a universal truth that I've come to recognize. And I feel like for you that must have been how it went with all of this, with being a Jehovah's Witness and feeling this way but not knowing how to express it because you were stuck within these boundaries? Because you had to have felt this way before you left the
absolutely,
religion,
yeah.
for sure.
It's
And
just-
this is how you've felt afterwards. So.
Yeah, it's exactly how I felt all my life.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a little kid, I would pray when I was a little kid, praying to God to give me like some sort of like care or want for this type of religion, you know. Like I didn't want it at all. I didn't need it. I didn't feel I mean, the only good thing is, probably the one thing is, like, I had, like, my best friend ever growing up, from, like, being, like, little boys. We, like, had each other's back our whole life. And we were both Jehovah Witnesses. And we stuck it out for each other, man. And we got each other into trouble, but we were, like, boys. And he was, like, my brother. But... So that was, like, very, very helpful for me. But a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people, like, get cast out of their homes. I mean, in the name of religion, they get sent to the streets and shit, you know? Like, my ex-wife's brother's ex-wife, who had her nieces and nephews, her nephew decided that he was gonna do like he decided that he felt like he was a girl his whole life, so he ended up identifying as a girl. Okay. And his parents sent him to my ex-wife's house, or my ex-wife's brothers in Las Vegas, and it was the first time that he's met him since he was like, I think he left when he was like 4 years old. So it was like, this kid is 16 years old, going through a sexual identity crisis, and his mom and dad tell him that he has to leave their house and move across the state, across the United States, to live with your dad that you haven't met since you haven't seen since you were 5 years old, and because you're not a Jehovah Witness, because you identify as a woman, or you're gay, cast out, leave this family, never come back, don't talk to us anymore, good luck, type shit.
Yeah.
People go through that. Kids go homeless from it and shit. You know, it's like Pentecostal, same Mormonism. I'm sure there's like things in all of those like crazy things that just cast out. And that's like the worst thing. Like, it's like so anti-fucking spirituality, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
So insane.
Yeah, because I mean, at that point, you're not recognizing the person
you're not
for
walking
the
in the
spirit
footsteps
that they
of Jesus Christ,
No.
Latter-day Saints of Mormonism, and the whatever. So it's wild to me, man.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
It is wild. It's wild that,
I mean,
you know...
it's not cool. I mean, it's just weird.
It's weird.
So I have a tendency to just, like, nowadays, I'm just like, fuck religion, fuck all that shit. Like, I know who I am.
But...
I'm spiritual.
That's why I gotta be careful, because, like I was saying before, I understand why other people have religion.
Yeah.
I understand
Yeah,
why
you
they
can have
want
it.
it and the need for it and what it represents in a greater sense.
Yeah.
Like, I
But don't expect
don't
me to
ever
make-
want to disrespect it, you know?
Don't expect me to not kind of make fun of you a little bit if you bring up religion, because I'm pretty smart with it. But like, yeah, I'm not gonna hate on you for like your religious choices. Do you?
Yeah, and
know?
there's great jokes. There's always great jokes.
Yeah, exactly. And trust me, I'm probably gonna say a couple funny little things or ask some questions if you don't mind. You know?
Yeah. So you guys think
if you're
what
open
now?
to like the conversation, but if not, then don't even bring it up.
Yeah.
Because I can go the distance. For
Yeah,
sure.
I need to get into some more religions just to
Yeah.
learn them, because the only ones I really know, now that I think about it, is Christian, Jehovah's Witness, that one that I couldn't remember the name of, on that book I was mentioning, Buddhism, I think that's a religion, right?
Yeah.
And then, shoot, man,
Good old
atheism, I guess.
Yeah, what about I think
It's gotta be another one I know.
I think a cool one that would be
Oh, and
really
then Satanism.
interesting would be like Satanism, but like the whole idea of Earth. What's that like? Paganism.
Oh, I don't know what that one is.
Paganism is like the whole idea of just straight up, like, it's like Nordic, like believing in the earth as the mother, and that's the god.
Oh,
and
really?
everything that's supplied is, and the sun is the sun. It's not literally a sun, it's the sun. Because that's where everything, like without the sun would die.
And this is before they knew what the sun even did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just based off the whole idea of the earth and how it provides for us and how it lights our way and all that kind of stuff. I think that's a cool religion. It'd be fun to explore a little bit more on that.
Yeah.
I would maybe subscribe to some of that stuff. I do. I think I naturally do.
Praise the sun.
Yeah,
That's where that comes from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Like, and just, Mother Nature and believing in the whole idea of, that force, that little magnetism,
Yeah.
that of doing good, not littering you somewhere in the universe. It's like pulling you a little bit to the right side to where you need to be. So you kind of hopefully duck the shit,
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel more and more like the best way for me to look at things is to just allow life to come as it is.
Yeah.
And to recognize that, like in the grand scheme of things, what I'm perceiving is ultimately everything to me. And that is it. That's it.
Yeah.
Like right now is
Just
the
the
moment.
sliver,
Everything
yeah.
is this.
And but in
just
reality,
a little
it's
sliver.
like the sliver of a sliver of a sliver of how long your life is gonna be, and how
tiny
much
dots on an endless timeline.
Yeah.
Like it's all just a little thing. It's
Yeah.
all just a tiny little piece, and you recognize that more and more as you grow older because you see,
Yeah.
oh my God, like it's been 10 years since this, and it was 5 years since this,
Yeah.
and you just
And you're like, why was I
older.
worried about that back then? That is so crazy. Like, I can't believe that I was scared about that or I was worried about that because none of it even mattered. Like, all that bullshit of worrying and killing yourself and everything. And just like, it all passes.
It all passes. Yeah.
Yeah. And
This
it
too shall pass.
Yeah, this too shall pass. Exactly.
And I just feel like the older and older I get, the more I recognize like the best thing I can do is make this moment as good as it can be.
Yeah.
And I need to recognize and optimize this moment and just make it the best moment it can be.
That's a good way.
And that's my job. That's what the other thing I'm really learning is that no one else is going to do that for me. I have to do that. I have to figure out like I have to make note. Hey,
you
this
are
is
your
what's
own
wrong.
God, Wyatt.
I am my own God.
Yeah.
But like, listen. So I'm like taking notes like, hey, these are all the things I could be doing better. These are the ways I need to improve right now, not tomorrow or someday.
That's awesome.
This is how I'm going to fix all these things that I feel like are wrong.
Self-awareness is the number one sign that you're not a narcissist. So
Well, it
that's
matters
awesome.
so much if you're the God. If you're not a narcissist, but we're all
you're
gods,
still
and you're the
focused
God,
on,
and you're in control of
Take
this.
care of your vessel.
Well,
and
what I
your-
mean is
and
that
everything.
you're taking care of your vessel, but that you're the God, so you're in control of like the way that this goes.
Yeah.
So if you're on top of your shit, if you're the God and you're taking care of your vessel, and you're taking care of everything that needs to be done, everything's going to work out because you are the guy, you're the God that's on top of his shit. Before that, you were not on top of your shit. You are.
You're in the driver's seat, bro.
Yeah.
It's up to you, man. You can drive slow, homie, or you can drive reckless, and But ultimately, we're the drivers.
Ultimately, we're the drivers. I see what you're saying though about the narcissism thing. Like, so
self-awareness is like the number one thing.
Yeah.
That divides people that are narcissists. I think is like
knowing you're in the driver's seat.
Knowing that you did knowing that you got to work on things.
Yeah.
And you're not perfect. You're not the end all be all. You're not the narcissist. Narcissists are funny to me.
I mean, man, they can be exhausting.
They're exhausting.
They can be fun, but they can be exhausting.
They're just so silly. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God, really? For real?
I mean, when you say narcissist, what do you mean by narcissist?
Just somebody that just has no personal reflection and just feels like their entitlement, like all that kind of stuff. Like the only person that matters is them, like nothing else.
So very egotistical.
Yeah, and egotistical and all that good stuff. All the funny little goofy nuances of humanity that we have to deal with on a daily basis. And like, I love when I see somebody who's all balled up with narcissism. It's like, that's cute.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
I mean, what do you do with a narcissistic person though? Because usually they're caught up in a bubble.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is that they're somewhere in a bubble.
You walk away from that.
Yeah.
You don't get involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people are narcissists for different reasons. That's the problem. Some people are caught in a narcissistic episode.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Or that could be, yeah. That's right.
Because you can catch like I've had narcissistic episodes for sure. I think I've done it. I think I've gotten a little bit too far in my own head and caught in.
But I think that there's a difference between being confident and being sure of yourself and believing in yourself than straight up like not having any self-awareness.
Okay.
Man, I shouldn't have said that. That was whack. I should have put that a different way, or maybe I should have thought about that a little bit better. Let me work on that next time and keep on working on yourself to build yourself. I think that's the difference, because like narcissism, like those motherfuckers think that they're perfect already.
And that's kind of why
like,
you said that. I see, like, if I'm optimizing my lifestyle and I'm trying to make it better, I'm admitting it's not perfect.
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
You're
of
taking,
narcissism.
exactly.
I see.
Yeah.
Because it really is. I'm taking it and I'm just accepting that there are better. I think that's one of, like, if you look at people who are masters, people who are experts at their craft, that is one thing they always do. They always continue to optimize their entire lives and figure out new ways to approach this and change it. Because otherwise, not only does your art grow stale, but you get tired of the process of making it.
Yeah, personal care, both mentally, spiritually, physically. I think it's like the number one thing that divides like the leaders from the fucking followers, you know?
Yeah, and it goes for all facets of life, but it bleeds into your art. You have to learn to like treat your life the same way you would treat an art piece.
Yeah,
like, you have to care about it.
Yeah, man. It's a vessel. It's the one and only vessel, man.
Yeah,
well,
it's
right
the
now,
one
I don't
and
know.
only.
Maybe not. I can't say that.
Hey, for all we know, for all intensive purposes.
Yeah, exactly.
It is the one and only.
Do you mind if I take a smoke break real quick?
Oh, yeah, we can take a quick little break. Hey,
cool.
Peace out, guys. We'll be back real quick. Yeah. We both had similar experiences recently. You and I.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
All right, yeah. We need to talk about that.
We need to talk about that. So what is it about these experiences that was so similar? Why don't you tell them?
We both decided to make career changes.
Yeah, we did.
We quit people.
Yeah. I
quit people.
I was let go, technically. But you quit people.
I quit people. Yeah.
Well, we're going to count it as the same.
Yeah.
They're both career choices.
New career choices, dog.
Same.
Chill. Like one door closes, another one opens.
Yeah. But I was let go for reasons beyond my control.
Yeah.
So
it happens to me a lot too. I mean, but I just choose, like, I was like not like stoked with the way things were being done as far as management. And it was a lot of that kind of stuff. So I just decided, and there's a little bit of a like kind of like personal philosophies and viewpoints that I didn't agree with as well. So I didn't really, I don't know, I kind of, in a weird way, I didn't want to associate myself with it, you know?
Yeah.
But also it's just kind of like not a lot of great management and a lot of some haters, man. Just haters.
Yeah.
Like, people that you just can't like make happy no matter what. Like
haters
like,
are gonna hate.
Oh my god! Like, come on, you're just like killing my vibe.
Yeah,
bro.
and haters are gonna hate.
Yeah.
It's really true.
It's just like, dude.
Like,
be easy.
You can't, like, some people get fixated on, like, oh, they're a vibe killer, but I can, like, there's a way, there's a way for them to have a good time.
Yeah.
No, they're a hater.
Yeah.
Haters are going to hate.
Exactly, dude. There's just, like, fucking, just stubborn, stuck up, entitled people that just like, yeah, they like have it out for you. They're just not feeling you for some weird ass reason.
And that's what you felt like that was what was going on.
Yeah,
some type of dynamic
a lot
like
of that weird shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Supposed
mean,
to
like,
feel-
it's all just about like the social situations that we find ourselves in, and the way that people treat us. And you got to follow your intuition on a lot of that stuff. You got to know that, like, well, if I feel this way in my heart, that like they're undervaluing me for what I'm worth, then maybe I should just. Maybe it's time for me to step away
exactly.
from
And
this.
like, exactly. It's like, when you start feeling like you're kind of being not taken advantage of, but just like not appreciated, I guess you could say.
Okay.
That kind of thing. Like, and it's not like really like a major need for like major accolation or anything like that. It's just like show love, you know. Don't be rude. You know, it's easy as that. Everybody talks about people not wanting to work. It's like, of course we don't want to work because we don't want to work for assholes. Like, don't be an asshole. Be a nice person and be like, yo, dude, bet you're awesome. Like, you're doing a good job. Like, can't we gas each other up a little bit more instead of being like grumpy old people that are like, or like just grumpy people that are just like shut off and walls like built up where it's like, wow, dude, I cannot do anything to please you. I can be like as nice as possible for forever, and you would not even be able to, you know, like break these walls down.
People like that.
Yeah, like grumpy ass grump. Chill out.
It's a defense mechanism.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Generally
Absolutely. And it's
speaking,
just like,
that's
what are you gonna do? What do you do about it? You don't. You
And they just don't
it.
know how to, like, for them, that's how they guard themselves. Like, perhaps they just were burned one day in a way that's
or they just
reprehensible.
Don't. Yeah, maybe they don't feel you. Just like I know a lot of people like do that off like style and like maybe I don't know. I mean, there's a weird psychology to that.
I agree. I think some people are. I mean, I don't know. I'm a very kind person.
Yeah, me too.
And I haven't been too far away from the Midwest, and I think the Midwest is generally a kind region.
Yeah,
I think most people around here, they don't really have much of an attitude towards one another, other than like a kind of humanity, a kind of understanding that we all are in this together. Whereas you might go to somewhere like New York, or I don't know if it's around.
Motherfuckers like Brooklyn and be like, get the motherfucker my black.
Yeah, they're not having a good time. I don't. Or if you go down towards California, that's a whole different mindset.
Absolutely,
whole different mindset.
Different
Florida,
style.
whole different mindset.
Yeah, whole different
but
style.
California, especially. I mean, dude, like you just take one little picture from here in California and just look at like the way that people are dressed and But if you stood there for a minute and you stood the other place for a minute, the amount of differences you'd see are astounding because it's not just the way it looks; it's the way people act, and the way the air is, and the way that the culture is.
It's everything.
It's everything.
Yeah, I mean, like I lived in Houston, Texas, for a while, and the same thing. I mean, it was a lot more fast paced.
Yeah.
It was a big city, and like everybody, like it was cool in some aspects because people like were a little bit more respectful, like when it came to like work and stuff. And they understood, like, I don't know. There was like a nice, like a mutual agreement, like feeling. But still, you get that freaking like human element, and you can just take one person or like one style of some, like I don't know, like I don't really know why I brought up Houston. I'm sorry, I got stoned.
No, it's okay.
There was a reason for it, but
Well, about humanity. I
mean,
mean,
I guess maybe even like the whole idea of like the culture.
Yeah.
Like Houston's super fast and everything is fast. And Michigan is like pretty like I feel like here it's like slower.
I agree.
You know,
you think that might bleed into like the way that we view one another?
Yeah, I think
so?
Or the way we treat each other and what our expectations. I think are a lot of that kind of stuff. Because I'm pretty sure that the expectations of I don't know, like let's take for instance a waitress that is waiting tables at a super high-end fine dining restaurant in Houston, Texas probably has higher expectations than a waitress that is in Utah serving Ponderosa or whatever, like
Right.
or whatever, just like a very or like a taco joint or something like that. The expectations are going to be like obviously more for the high dining stuff. So and like that fast pace of life. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's a weird thing. I believe though that like the way that humanity, like the dichotomy of humanity in general, like how we are affected in bigger cities, smaller cities, psychologically, and how we treat each other. Like
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
I mean, one prime example of that is how bigger cities always tend to politically lean more left, whatever that means,
Yeah.
generally speaking, right?
Yeah,
Like, they
sure.
always tend to have those types of attitudes.
Mm-hmm.
And if not left, then at least generally they tend to have attitudes that value accepting one another and bringing one another
Yeah,
in.
and the general melting
like,
pot.
Just generally speaking,
Yeah.
that's what those values represent. That's what a city would make you believe, because you are having that when you're
Yeah.
there. You're seeing that. You're seeing a melting
Yeah,
pot. You're seeing a lot
exactly.
of people that, you know, you might not see that when you're in that city in Utah where
Yeah,
it's
where it's
just, or not city, but probably just town in
just little
Utah.
town in- yeah,
I mean, they got
Utah.
cities there.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
But Utah's not a big state. There's got to be a city that I don't know in Utah that people
Utah.
are like.
What's
Somebody in Utah will hear this and be like, ah!
what's the capital of Utah?
I don't know. I don't know, bro.
remember Utah. Somebody call in and let us know.
Right.
Thanks.
I feel bad. I feel bad for all my Utahians. You know.
Sorry, Utah.
Right. Sorry, Utah. I know you guys are real. I know you guys exist. I know you have a capital. But anyway,
But,
like
yeah.
a town in Utah, that's a whole different. Just like what you're saying,
Yeah,
though,
just
the
vibe.
expectations are
The
different.
expectations are different.
Yeah.
The vibe is different.
The reason I
and-
brought it all up, I'm trying to remember, because I said something about people being kind, and then I said how in the Midwest people are kind. Can you
Yeah.
remember what I was saying right before that?
You're talking about just in general, like God, I can't remember.
I know, man. Me neither. Dang it. Because it was, we were on to something. I mean, we came in swinging with
Yeah.
our job stories, so I
We're
know it was
good.
probably connected to that somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just like, maybe it was just like how people treat one another. Maybe it was based on that. I don't know.
Maybe general. Yeah,
I don't know. Play it back, DJ.
we get into that. We get into
But,
that.
I mean, anyway, moving forward, I just feel like it's a good thing to be around, and no matter where you are. You just have to find the right group of people
Yeah.
that treat you right, and you can find that anywhere.
Find your family.
I mean,
know.
probably family, but not necessarily. I mean, not
I mean,
even really. No, I
but
don't. I
like-
don't agree with that. I mean, family
You-
helps.
you will,
Family helps.
No, you will find your family. Like you will
Oh,
find
yes.
your family. Like
I
as far
misunderstood.
as far as like people, your tribe.
Yes.
You know, and
You will, and
yeah.
you have to trust that.
Yeah.
You have to have faith in that.
Yeah.
That I will find my family. I will find my tribe, because
Yeah.
it's not something that's easily done.
Yeah.
It's not something that can be done in a day, done in a week, and you don't even know it's happening a lot of the time.
And
as it
sometimes,
happens.
sometimes you might get some players that might fall off the tribe.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so it's like you got to be okay with that and like understand that not every relationship is meant to last forever.
Yeah, and your tribe shifts and changes.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to be okay with that and
Yeah.
understand like just how to just how to like really go with the flow. you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Figure out how. So what's the next step? I mean, like, so I left, but like, now what? Now what am I gonna do? What do I want to do? And I'm kind of like at that point where I want to do something that's like really valuable to my soul.
Yes.
What about you?
Great, man.
What
That's a
you
great
gonna do?
segue. That was beautiful. Beautifully done. Because I think that connects very well to my story, my friend.
Yeah.
I think it's exactly where I'm at. I think I'm at the same spot as you, where I'm at a spot where I am, once again, unemployed,
Yeah.
looking at the world.
Scary, but it is what it is.
It can be.
Yeah, it can be.
It can be, but I generally, I'm pretty optimistic.
Yeah, me too.
I look at it like this is a thing.
Something's gonna happen sooner or later. Like,
Well, yes,
you know.
but not even just that. Just that, like, I deep down in my heart, I know that if I have faith in this situation, if I believe
Yeah.
in myself, that things will go the
Yeah.
way they're supposed to go, and that will not go terribly wrong.
Yeah,
This has never failed me so far. This intuition,
and then
in my
you'll
life.
and then you'll become miserable again. And then we can just keep this. Just,
And then, but no. And I have to
was
watch
looking
this
for
podcast.
a job, and then I got a job, and heaven knows I'm miserable now. It's like, whatever. So it's like, I'm not racing to red.
I mean, but that's the thing, man. I'm not looking at it like I'm miserable.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not looking at
That's
it
the way
like
to
that.
do it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it like,
keep it open.
Here we are again.
Here we are again.
Yeah.
And now where do I go from here?
And where do I go from here? And
I'm gonna figure it
not even in the sense. I also look at it in the sense that it's like this is an opportunity. Like life is throwing me a curveball. This is something that I need to do something with. Like maybe this is.
And if you believe in yourself too, for whatever things. I mean, like I did choose to leave. When believing in yourself, and then like that, I believe kind of opens up like pathways to somewhere that if you're looking for your ultimate fucking like purpose in this world, it's gonna present itself somehow in some way.
And but I think that one thing that I've been screwing up is that I've been expecting it to manifest itself in front of me, and there are steps to get that to happen.
Yeah,
you have to work for that.
Yeah,
it doesn't just happen.
Exactly. You got to be mentally, spiritually, and physically. A lot of work gets put into just growing and understanding that we're always growing, and sooner or later you're gonna get to your purpose.
Yeah.
We are. I know it because it's like it's just the way it goes. So it's like as long as you're like active and trying, like you're gonna figure it out. We're charismatic dudes, so we can get through it.
Well, for me, man, this is the other side of it. For me, because I stated recently on the podcast, it's been going down, my Chicago statements on this podcast.
Nice.
And I think Chi-town. I try not to call it that because I'm pretty sure they don't call it that there.
No, they don't call it that anymore?
I'm pretty sure.
Windy City! They call it that.
Windy City! I like your little rendition there. But, yeah, so I've had to try. I wanted to iron in my goal as of recently, because I know I'm going to go there. I think we talked about this last time I had you on.
Yep.
And I ironed it out. I said August 1st.
Yeah.
That was my date. And now that this went down today, where I have been let go, sadly, with love, I've been let go, but I've been let go. So it's like, okay, August 1st, as we're filming this podcast, that's about 2.5 months from now.
Yeah.
So maybe I should just do it a month and a half now.
Yeah. Because I mean, the universe is giving you signs.
Exactly, man.
You know, like so.
And I've been saying for the longest time, like,
was knocking, let a motherfucker in.
Thank you, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I really do know what you're saying. Because the universe,
So,
I've been. It's funny, man. I feel like that's been happening to me a lot lately.
That's good.
Where I haven't even been looking for
putting in the
this.
work.
Like with signs and just different things.
Yeah.
Where it's, they'll come out and they'll remind me like, oh yeah, there is a direction that this is going.
You seem like you're very well, this tattoo on my neck is Quo Vadis, and it means know your direction in Latin. And I feel like you're pretty stoic about kind of knowing where you're heading. Like, you can kind of see your path a little bit. And you're not scared. You're not scared to make the leaps, just to grow and shit. So that's cool.
What I'm learning to understand is that I have not been making the leaps enough.
Yeah.
And
it's scary.
And it's scary, but that's what stops me is that it's
But
scary.
once you get into it, it's super fun and exciting and invigorating. I mean, like, some of my favorite times were, like, traveling, because I traveled a lot. And, man, dude, that was, like, scary. But, like, when I did it, I always felt, like, super accomplished and so much more worldly, like, well-traveled, you know. And just, like, I did that shit, you know.
Yeah.
Which is rad. But, yeah, it can be scary sometimes. I mean, like, just throwing yourself out in the unknown and just going for it.
But such is life.
But such is life. Yep.
And that's kind of the essence of it, man. As I feel like,
Don't hesitate.
I hesitate, and I'm missing out on life, man. I'm missing out on a lot of life that's out there.
Yeah.
And
you're
there's
young,
so
dude.
much of it.
Make mistakes. get weird. That's what you're supposed to do when you're young.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you know, I'm an artist, and I feel like a lot of that stuff feeds into what I like to do with expression and being weird and making mistakes and expressing to people to be themselves. Like, I have to follow my own advice. Because I'm basically saying this stuff in my music. Like, if you look at a song I write, a lot of it's like me just being existential about, like, you know, be yourself and stuff like that. So there's a whole lot of that.
Tip your waitress. Yeah, like, that's what proves that you're not a narcissist.
Yeah. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, you understand, you know, like the whole, like, who we are. You can kind of get it, and you have, like, self-awareness. And you're transparent about it for your art, which is rad. That's strong. That's like heavy shit. Some people can't share shit at all. You know, like, you're sharing your life, and you're calling yourself out, and you're like being aware of your beauty, but also like things that you need to work on.
Yeah.
Taking self inventories and stuff like that, and moral inventories. Things just like being aware, being conscious of like what can I do better? Like, where can I go from here? You know, like Chicago, next move. You know, shit. Maybe it's time to go to Chicago, dog.
Maybe
this is a sign. Maybe. Get the fuck up out this motherfucking place.
And
go to Chicago.
The way you just put that, that's really smart, man. Because it almost lines up with my philosophy towards music and like being like, well, I mean, it kind of is what I just said. It's all coming to me right now. Yeah. we're both saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So man. I mean, like, I feel like I just got to do it. I got to make the move. I got to see what happens. Right. And that'll be part of the story. That'll be part of this whole thing that I'm creating right here, right in front of everybody.
It'll be fun to see. Have a little follow up, see where you're at.
I mean, I'll keep doing the podcast while I'm there. Yeah. So for somebody like you who's connected,
do a travel podcast.
Well, I want to have a podcast at least where I have just either a laptop or a portable device. Yeah. Where in case somebody can't come to me. Because there are outside podcasts where people just wait for people outside.
Document your move, though, and everything. That'd be cool.
Oh, you mean travel podcast like that? I thought you meant like travel as in I go to people. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Like an iPod.
Well, okay, so I kind of already set the grounds for that.
An iPod.
Because an iPod. For those that don't know, Seth, before we did our last podcast, we were talking. This guy had never even seen or done a podcast before, so he called them iPods. So, yeah. It was a learning experience for Seth. But a traveling iPod would be interesting. I already kind of set the grounds because I did 2 episodes before this where I did the 7 reasons why I'm moving to Chicago. And it was about a 25-minute episode of Ruse Radio where I just talked about it by myself, solo episode. So, and I kind of thought of that as like, for one, I'm cementing it. I'm putting it into place. I'm letting people know I'm doing this. Like, this is part of what I'm doing.
This is you.
And I can't go back now. Yeah. Now it's there. Yep. I put it out there.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I just lost the train of thought. The other thing is I'm putting it out there and I'm doing it, and it is the podcast, and it is moving to Chicago, and it is traveling.
You could score it too.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Like, edit
because
it,
I can always go back to it,
dope.
and it's just that point. Like, as I was creating it, I was thinking.
Yeah, it's a reference point.
It's a reference point for where my brain was at that point in time.
Quo vadis, dog. Like, Quo vadis.
What's that?
It means know your direction.
Know your direction. Oh, right. That's that. Nice. Yeah. Nice.
So,
Quo vadis?
Yeah.
Is that what that tattoo was that you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I see? Oh, nice. I hope the camera.
It means know your direction. Like,
all right.
Like, what's your direction? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I like that.
Focus. Yeah. So,
I like that a lot.
It's always to stay focused. Which is rad.
And that's what I am, man. Like you said, I'm glad that you can spot that in another man, because I think you're the same way. You see, it takes real to recognize real. But, so, what was I just on about, man? Gosh.
So you're going to move to Chicago.
Move to Chicago, but what was I just remembered the thing that I just said, and then I remembered it, and I said it. You remember what it was?
Man,
we're the worst.
Can't remember.
Oh, well, if I say it and I put it in place, I was talking about the vlog thing. Not the vlog, but the podcast.
The
But you said the travel
traveling
podcast.
documentary.
Man, guys, listen,
podcast.
listen. We have great memories. What happened was we were abducted by aliens during the break. During the intermission, we were abducted by aliens and they
It was
probed
awesome.
us. It was
great.
awesome, but it also, like, it was
the
a
most
little bit
action I've gotten
exhausting.
in a while.
You had a good time?
Yeah, it was
you liked
great.
It?
Yeah, it was good.
I kind of liked it, but it's just like I felt a little bit used.
Yeah, I'm a sadomasochist, so
You're into that.
I'm into alien sadomasochism, bro.
See, I don't know.
Alien abductions,
Maybe you've
dude.
been abducted
that
a
does
little
it
more
for
times
me.
than me.
It really does it for me.
Alien abduction is the only thing that does it
It's
for
the only
me.
thing that it does. That
No
does it for
woman
me.
can touch
Yeah.
it. I mean, hey,
Like shit. What are you gonna do?
what are you gonna do, man? It might be a good time. It might be a good time. It was. I couldn't get into it because it was probably my second or third time being abducted.
Word.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It was only my second or third time, and I liked the aliens, but they didn't really. The first and second time, they treated me a little better. Let's just put it that way.
But you'll get to know them.
Okay.
We're like finger deeper than the borderline. Just heard a little. It's like, have you ever? Did you know that there's a fisting house in France?
No.
On
Really?
the countryside where people go and they just fist each other.
Sounds French.
It's French as fuck, dog.
Yeah.
It's like French kissing with your hand up somebody else's butt. Oh, which is just so weird. Like,
Couldn't do it for me. I could not. I wouldn't be prepared for that.
no,
Yeah.
nope.
I mean, like, I feel like that's got to be painful for somebody who hasn't went through the extent of.
But like, what if you were like at that point where you're like, nothing does it for me besides fisting, or
Right.
nothing does it for me besides what were we just talking about? Alien abduction.
Alien abduction.
That's the only thing that does it for me.
Yeah, alien abduction,
I'm
fisting.
addicted
I
to
mean, there's a lot of things that
Yeah.
could be on that list.
Yeah.
I mean, but I feel like it's like any addiction. You
so
just can't go
wild.
too deep. You
Yeah.
can't go too deep.
You can't go too deep.
When you're in that rabbit
without
hole.
finding a body, you can't go too deep.
Yeah. It gets
Yeah.
dark.
Oh my god, that's
I mean,
funny.
like, man.
But like, yeah, people are about that life, like
They're about that
fetishes,
Yeah,
and stuff
they
like
are.
that.
Yeah, they
it's like
are.
the weirdest thing. I think it's so
What's
awesome.
what's some of the weirdest fetishes you've ever heard of?
I haven't really. I mean, I just like a sex gimp. What if you're like, man, that's what I'm devoting my life to, is
gimp.
being a sex gimp.
Yeah.
And like, I heard the story about these dudes. My buddy was a cameraman for like the like local news in Houston, and he said that there was this one story that they covered where like these like prominent members of the Houston area, they all had a sex gimp that they left in a closet, and they would go and like intermittently feed it
Yeah.
and shit. Like, what if that was your life? Like, that's your shit. Like, that's the only thing that does it for you. I have to be fully devoted to being a sex gimp. That'd be the weirdest thing in the world.
It would be. I feel like that's a bit much.
But it's also could be like one of those things where they're like really, like the story was that the guys forgot to feed
Okay.
the person who was a sex gimp and was in the closet.
Oh, no.
And the sex gimp died.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was super, super sad. But my buddy had to cover it. He was a cameraman for this local. This was like in the 80s, and yeah, he told me that story, and I was like, that is some fuckery.
Yeah.
Like, who? Yeah, that's your kink. Dog, chill out. Chill out. Like, really? Yeah, nothing does it for me like a sex gimp. Bro, that's the only thing that can do it for me.
Okay, so I saw on a TV program once, and I don't know if they were exaggerating this for the program, but the person liked to be a baby and liked to be treated like a baby.
I've seen that before.
And
it's wild.
with the bottle of the baby food.
Yeah, that's wild, dude.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, it's just a weird, like psychological. It's like sadomasochism is so interesting to me. I'm not into it, but like dudes, like there's this guy named, what's his name? There's this documentary about him, and he's like a very prominent figure. He was a very prominent figure in like the like the sadomasochist domination world and stuff, and like he'd nail his dick to boards and stuff like that, and like that got him off. Like he felt pleasure in pain, so he was like a dog basically to his wife. Whenever they were home, he was on a leash, and his wife would make him walk on all fours, and like that was his shit. Like that's what that was their family life. He was a dog, and he'd like walk around on all fours, and his wife would like tell him when he could eat and tell him what to do, and he just
She'd pet him.
pet him. Yeah,
Man.
he was wild, yo. This documentary is called Hurt. It's Bob Flanagan. That's his name, Bob Flanagan. And he had cystic fibrosis. So from a childhood age, and the only time that he could like feel love was when he was in pain. It naturally happened to his like body, his being, because like the only time that he like really felt loved was when he was super, super sick, with the cystic fibrosis, and his parents would like comfort him. So like he got completely addicted to like the only way that he could feel pleasure is through pain. Like,
wow.
Yeah, wild. So he refused to die, and he was like in the worst pain. Like he would do like these weird, crazy art gallery installations where it'd be a bunch of TVs stacked on each other that were like the size of a human being, and it'd be him on an operating table, and they'd be like doing an operation on him, and that was like his art installation in like Brooklyn, New York, and shit back in the day.
And he just liked the pain.
And he just liked the pain, and he had to get the operation, and he didn't, and so he would just do it like videotape it and live feed it to these, then do an art gallery exposition of him getting surgery done and shit.
God.
So weird, dude. The documentary's called Hurt. Bob Flanagan. It's an interesting story. But like, what if that was your shit? Like the only way I can get off is through like the immense amount of pain that I can possibly have. That's the only way I can be happy, or degradate me, like, you know, like make me feel less, you know. That's so crazy to me.
I mean, a lot of this stuff's got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
of course. Yeah, it's got to start somewhere. It all stems from somewhere. There's no doubt about it. But it's just wild. I mean, there's like people who, I mean, for every fetish that we probably know, I bet you there's a bunch more that we don't even know about and shit. Like lemon parties and shit. like just dumbass shit like that. We're like, what?
Yeah.
People are into that?
Yeah.
That's crazy, yo. That's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably, you're right. There's
Weird.
It's like the amount of fish are in the ocean that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably so many fetishes that we've never even...
It's like the only way that I can get off is if I jerk off with mashed potatoes and gravy or something like that. While I'm eating or some shit, you know.
On the show Better Call Saul, there was a good moment where they brought something up called... I can't remember what... Oh, Boston Cobbler? I want to say Boston Cobbler. That might be wrong, though. And
Cleveland Steamer?
Squat Cobbler. That's what it was. And it's about a guy who
Shit.
records a video where he squats in pies. I don't know if it's bare naked or not. And he just squats and he rubs around.
People are into it.
Yeah.
Scatism. Scatism is a real thing, dude. People are into, that's their thing. I'm a scatism.
But he's not
I'm into
pooping in the
scatism.
pies. He's just sitting on it.
But there's people who are scat.
But I thought scat meant poop.
It does. It means like eating poop and getting off with poop.
But if it's just a pie and it's just a butt, that's
poop
not.
is poop.
No, but there's no poop. That's what I'm saying.
What was it?
Squat Cobbler.
Squat Cobbler. What is it?
Oh, I don't know if they made it up for the show or not, but it was like in the show, he was called Squat Cobbler, and a guy had sat in some pies and rubbed his butt around for sexual purposes.
For real. That's like what
in the show.
Okay.
In the
That's
fictional universe. But like
is that a thing?
Sounds real, right? You have to ask. You're asking.
I am asking, yeah. It's like a Dutch oven. Like, you know, like what? Like, yeah, who? Yeah. Oh
sounds real enough. So
funny.
with all that being
But yeah.
said, squat cobbler, all kinds of fish in the sea.
All kinds, dude.
Yeah.
More than we even know.
Yeah.
Indonesian death tribes. You know?
I bet there's some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah.
I bet there's some stuff it would be hard to even imagine. Like, you guys do what?
I'm gonna make up a new fucking fetish.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it'd be hard.
yeah. Exactly. It probably already exists.
Licking eyelids. That's my proposal.
Porno for pyro.
What's that?
Like, the only way you can get off is, like, by watching something burn.
Ooh.
That's a weird one. Ooh. I think it already exists, though. Like, people... yeah. There's a band called... There's a band called Porno for Pyros.
They're holding holding a piece of paper and they're like, light it on fire. Oh.
Yeah, and like that gets them off. Yeah.
They got to see that paper on fire.
Yeah.
Don't worry, baby.
It's
I
like
got a jar next to
association,
me with
probably
water.
like association in some weird way.
Yeah,
which
like
I bet
that's
you
why I
there's-
said
yeah.
earlier, it's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's got to be association. Just that's where all those got to start.
Everything, yeah. So
I
it's
mean,
like funny to think about, like, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I wonder where the wax candle one comes from.
Yeah.
Like, why do you want candle wax on you?
I don't know.
Is it a pain thing? Is it just pain, solely
Probably some
pain?
people pain, maybe pleasure.
Heat.
Like,
Maybe something about the
I don't
heat.
know. I don't really
Wax
know. I've never
is
been.
interesting.
Liquids in general are just goofy to me when it comes to sex. It's like, chill out. Like,
Yeah.
no, dude, I'm good. Like, no.
There was a girl once that I remember. She was really into ice.
Yeah,
That she like really.
Yeah.
She told me she really liked ice.
I get that.
And I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, probably.
But like, it must just be the cooling sensation.
Yeah.
Something about that. There's something associated there.
Yep.
But I'd never heard of that one before, and that one's probably pretty common.
Bitch, there's somebody in this world who's like, the only way that they can come is if they're like sniffing Clorox bleach or something, you know? Like,
I gotta be chugging Mountain Dew.
yeah, gotta be chugging a Mountain. That's Florida man shit right there. It's the only way I can come. Chugging a Mountain Dew, bro.
There's somebody.
There's somebody.
There's a lot of people in this world.
There's a lot of people in this world. You know who you are, motherfucker.
Yeah, I hope he's watching. Hey, that's me. They're talking about me.
They talking about me, man. That's crazy. How they got those things going on over there?
Yeah, but it really to me, you get more and more exposed to that growing up because as a kid you could never even imagine. I mean, it's funny. I couldn't imagine being a kid and watching or listening to this podcast because like it took me a long time to figure out that even suffocation was something that turned me.
Yeah. Squanching.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If there's a kid watching this podcast, I hope you're getting education right now, man. I hope you're learning from this.
Yeah.
Like, you need to learn this at some point. So
Realize that, if you do try to do that, like, don't.
Oh, well, suffocation's wild.
Suffocation's weird.
That one's wild.
But I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch Rick and Morty?
No.
There's this character. His name is Squanchy, and he's like says everything's like squanch this. It's like squanch you, bro. Squanch, 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 squanch. I want to pass me the squanch. And like squanching is like when you like put a noose around your neck and you like make yourself asphyxiate and jerk off.
Okay.
And like his like Rick's daughter was like, "What in the hell is squanching?" And she opened the closet and he's like hanging himself and jerking off, and it was squanchy. But that's a real thing. Asphyxiation orgasms. This shit's crazy. I mean, but to each their own. Heat your home like Southern California gas. Ooh,
bars.
That's North. Vince Staple.
Yo, was that? Oh, you stole that?
Oh yeah, it's Vince Staple.
Oh,
It came to me just like.
Dude,
When
I
I
feel like
said
you
that
quoted a
line.
couple songs like recently that I did not know, and so I just like rolled with it. But they were references. You've been
Maybe.
throwing rerences in here.
Hey.
For if you don't,
Vince
if you know,
Staple.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There are people listening who's like, this guy, he knows all my songs.
Listen to North by Vince Staple. It's a great song.
I will. I'm gonna throw it in my rotation.
Hell yeah.
You laid it down. You let the people know.
Yeah.
What else are you listening to lately?
Lately, I've been listening. A lot of Earl Sweatshirt.
Okay. Earl Sweatshirt's great.
Yeah, I like a lot of stuff. I've been listening to that Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole thing that they just put out like about a month ago. It's
What are you
so
talking about?
stupid. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I forget what it's called, but it's Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. It's amazing. It's crazy. And I'm recording a new album, so I'm listening to a lot of my own stuff too. So
No, wait.
yeah, J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. It's called. Look it up. You'll see.
All right. Continue talking about. I don't want to interrupt what you're saying because I don't want to like.
That's a good album, man. You'd like it. That and like,
Album? It's an album.
Yeah, it's an album.
Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole.
Yeah,
They made an album.
Yeah.
Or a mixtape.
it's like a mixtape.
You're
But
kidding.
it's like an album, yeah. Or it's like it's a mixtape.
Are you sure it was
basically.
real?
It's real. I don't know. I'm not sure. I've seen it online. I've just been listening to that album. It's got both their faces. Like one's pointing this way and the other one's pointing this way.
Is this real?
It's real.
What?
It's real. It's real. It's real.
It dropped a month ago?
Yeah, so I've been listening to that.
This is real.
It's real, man.
Dude, no way.
It's
Are you-
good.
Okay.
It's
okay.
insane. It's
I don't want to get
beyond
too
good.
hyped.
It's beyond
because
good.
I don't even believe. I can't, that's beyond crazy if that's real because that's kind of been like, I don't know if you know, but that's been a running thing for a long time in like hip hop is that J. Cole and Kendrick are gonna do a mixtape together.
Yeah,
it's
it
gonna
was-
finally
so,
happen.
I
one
don't
day.
know,
But
yeah.
no one really believed it. They
Yeah.
just thought it might happen. It was
Yeah.
like one of those things like
I was like-
a Dr. Dre album finally
What?
dropping.
And then my buddy was like, "Is this real?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And I mean, I've been listening to it for the last, like, dude, it's so fucking ill, dude. It's stupid.
It's real though.
It's ill. As
When you say
fuck.
stupid, you
it
mean
is stupid
stupid
good.
good.
It's like so dumb, dude. It's like ridiculously good. It's like quit. I quit. Type shit. But like,
I
man.
can't believe that
Yeah,
came out. I
it's
did.
wild.
That should be on my radar. That came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I asked you, man,
Nice.
because that's somehow I missed that.
Yeah.
Wow.
been
Well,
listening to- I've been-
people, dude, it's so funny because Kendrick gets mentioned on my podcast more than probably any other human. Like I bring that guy up all the time. He's my
Yeah.
all-time favorite when it
Yeah.
comes to hip hop.
I love
So
J.
the fact
Cole,
that he had
I
a
like-
whole drop I missed, that blows my mind.
Yeah, that's wild, man. I thought you'd already known.
Yeah, I figured I should. I love J. Cole too. J.
Yeah,
Cole is
J. Cole's
some of
the
his stuff
shit,
has
dude.
really moved me, man.
He's amazing.
J. Cole's a great, not only
Unbelievable.
hip hop artist, but just musician in
Smart,
general. Same
smart
thing with Kendrick.
dude.
They're really smart,
Smart
and
motherfuckers.
their music is.
It
their music-
transcends.
It transcends the boundaries of the genres that they're working
Yeah,
with.
exactly. It's
And
beautiful.
they're really, really good at communicating ideas that a lot of other artists
like-
wouldn't be able to.
that are fucking still bangers, but they're also like beautiful. That's this whole album. It's kind of like that. It's got like a very classic element to it, but then it's still got that fucking banging banger beats. And
My imagination is going crazy.
it's unbelievable. And then Prof. I've been listening to a lot of Prof lately.
Prof. I've heard a lot about
He's pretty
Prof.
cool. Yeah, he's rad. He's funny. He's a funny cat. He dropped a track with Method Man.
Really?
And another one with Redman.
Really?
Which is super weird. Yeah, so
Both the mans.
Yeah, so
Man,
which is
man.
cool.
Which
And,
man is next?
If you've ever,
Are there any other men?
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot. Method Man,
Yeah, there's a few.
Red Man, Sons of Man,
Superman.
Superman.
But if you ever wanna, what were we gonna say? If you ever wanna what now?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I heard at the beginning of a sentence.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
it didn't end. But either
Oh,
way.
if you ever want to hear Method Man and Red Man, that Blackout album is so good, man. And so it's like cool that Prof did a song with both of them.
Yeah.
Who did an album together. I think that's rad. And it's dope, man. His new album, it's like the goofiest name. It's like Pants or something. I can't remember what the name of the album is, but it's really good.
Pants is a good name for an album.
It's a good name for an album. If it's not Pants, I'm naming my next album Pants.
Pants. Yeah. Pants is pretty good. It gets the people going.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
And then you said also, before we went backwards, you're working on music.
Yeah, yep. I'm working on some new stuff, so I've just been listening to a lot of that mix. You know how that goes. The process.
Of course. Oh my god.
The arduous
Oh my
process
God.
of mixing and mastering and editing. So
It's never
just like,
over.
yeah.
It's
So-
never over. That's the problem. Like,
Combing
I
through.
bring up Kanye a lot too on the podcast Because, dude, my boy Kanye, like, he's kind of got that creative process down. He's allowed to fix his masters as much as he wants.
Yeah,
He can
that's
send.
what's up.
I don't know if he's got a deal with these guys or how it works, but he can just fix his masters.
Yeah.
Just like that.
That's wild. That's cool.
It is wild and it's very cool, but like it must cost millions. Because once when you're on these websites where the digital distributor. The digital distributors.
Yeah.
I feel like the digital distributors, whatever they are.
Distributors.
You know what these people are. The digital distributors.
The digital
The
distributors.
digital distributors. Those digital distributors, those guys don't let you change your mix or master or whatever.
Yeah,
they say,
really?
they make sure to tell you, you listen to this a million times, because once you send it to us, once it's accepted,
that would
once
suck.
it's uploaded, it's not, unless you delete it, it's not
it's gonna
getting
be
changed.
there. Yeah, it's not changed. Yeah, you can't change it.
You
Exactly.
can't email us and say, hey, I got a new master.
Hey, sorry, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you know how many people would be doing that?
Exactly.
They'd be fucking killing. Like, so you would have to have, like, a whole, like, department just for those calls.
Well, you know what you have to have? $1 million, and you have to be Kanye West.
Yeah. Or you could, I mean, like, there's some pretty good online mastering tools. Like, I use this it's like, I don't know, something eMaster or something like that. And
What does it do?
It like just gives it like a really, like, everything. I can mix. I've been mixing for 20 years. So, I mean, I can get I know how to bus. I know how to separate channels. I know how to pan. I know how to get a really solid mix. But it just kind of boosts and gives it the proper compression for, like, maximum audibility, or maximum audible range for the human ear, basically.
Yeah.
And it works out pretty good. I like it. It's like, just like, and it's not expensive. But it's nice because they mix it to fit with the
Industry standard.
industry standard. Yeah,
Okay.
like, so Spotify. If you put your stuff on Spotify, it's not gonna sound all janky.
Yeah.
It might be a different style of production, but it's not gonna sound like horrible. You know.
See, the only thing I worry about with that is that I don't know.
Because there's something to be said about, like, different ways people go about recording.
Yes.
And I don't think production, I feel like production should have a style. But everything should fall into, like, an audible range. Where you're not, like, listening to it and you hear this stupid ass, like, fucking hissing hi-hat in the background that's just annoying the shit out of you, so you can't even listen to the song, you know?
Well, look, that can fall into the mix, though. I
yeah.
mean, the
So
problem
it's just
is
like,
you make
figuring
your own
out-
beats, so you got that
Yeah.
down, because you can fix that.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of
yeah.
that, from my understanding, is just EQing
EQing
in
and compression.
the hi-hat.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you're a guy that's like me and you're not buying stems for a hip-hop beat, and there's too much of that sizzle in that hi-hat, that can ruin a whole beat.
Yeah, absolutely.
The whole thing. Like, it's just like, oh,
It
this
makes it
is-
uncomfortable to listen to.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh, no. So it's like, that mastering, that M-class mastering system, I mean, it just kind of, like, compresses everything. So it just puts everything, like, right in that spot where it's not annoying. And I don't have to do, like, major, like, EQ sweeps and stuff like that.
No
And,
surgery.
it takes, like, a little bit of it helps a little bit with the tedious process of mixing and mastering.
See, man, my
it's
advice
crazy.
to you would be if you can find a way, because I mean, I think one thing that achieves that pretty well that a lot of people use is Ozone 8, unless there's an Ozone 9 that I'm not aware of.
Yeah.
Maximizer.
Yeah.
But their maximizer is fantastic when
Yeah.
it comes to making things loud enough for streaming services.
Cool.
Like, it blows me
I'll have to
away.
check it out.
It's what I use
Yeah.
for, like, those
Yeah,
mixes
most of your
I
mixes
showed
are awesome.
you earlier.
Yeah, I mean, your mixes are great, dude. Like,
Thank you.
whatever you're using and whatever you're doing, you're killing it. For being only doing this for a little while.
I mean,
you're
If by a little
doing
while
great.
you
I
mean
mean,
11 years.
Yeah, I mean,
10
I guess.
years. But no, I mean, you've probably been in it a lot longer than me.
like 25 years. But like,
Yeah.
but for being like an up and comer, newer dude, and doing it by yourself, learning
Yeah.
it by yourself, man, you're doing a great job.
I appreciate that very much,
Your
man.
audio value is great, man. It's so good. Your mixes are good. There's never anything that I've ever heard that I'm like, eh. No. Like, everything is great, you know?
Well, that took a lot of
Yeah.
time for me to refine that. I mean, it really
it
did.
does, man.
It
Yeah, it's a
always does
process.
for everything. And it's
Yeah.
like we were saying earlier, I think that what makes you great is understanding how to improve and how to optimize and get better.
Yep.
That goes for everything you do, including your craft.
Exactly.
So, like, when I'm making music, I just want to make it better and better and better. And it's not like I want to make every piece better than the last piece. It's like I want to be better at my craft.
Yeah.
And I know that
Never
there's
stop
something
learning.
never stop learning and never
Yeah.
stop learning through each action.
Yeah.
Because, like we were saying, everything is right now. And so everything is right now, then everything is a culmination of everything I've learned.
And also learn what knowledge to retain and what knowledge is a bunch of bullshit.
Yes.
Because you get a lot of
100%.
that too from people or books. You'll read something that says something and it's like, that doesn't work for like the sound I'm going for right now. So
And not going too deep into the wrong rabbit holes.
Yeah, being okay with experimenting okay, or you know, but also realizing that it's like sometimes it's just there's certain things that people recommend and it's like chill out, you know, like I mean I get it, but sometimes it just doesn't work and sometimes it does. So it's like figuring that out too. I think is like a big part of the process of like learning how to mix music and shit.
Yeah.
Like what to believe in, like what to follow, what to make your most priority.
Yeah, and what
works for you.
What works
and your
for
style.
you? What works for you and what's your style? Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where I was gonna go because it's like everybody's voice is different and nobody's gonna EQ and mix and master and do all that the exact way that you do.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Nope.
It's just like everything where it's like unless you're
But
using
it can
a
drive you
priest-
completely fucking bonkers doing it, man.
Yeah, it can. I mean, like for me, I've learned
But
that
it's fun,
I
though.
do find a home in it way more than I do a lot of things in life.
Yeah, same.
Like when it comes to some of the other things that are involved in content creation, I feel like I'm kind of forcing a fit.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
when it comes to producing my music,
Yeah.
especially because it's my music,
Yeah.
and I'm emotionally connected
Yeah.
to what's happening.
Yeah.
I want
And
it
it feels-
to be
and
as
it-
good as it can be.
And it feels really good when you do get it to the point where you're feeling super satisfied with it.
100.
You're like, dude, like, okay, I got this, man. Like, I can have this and I can show it to people. And I don't know, if you don't even like it, that's cool. I do. So
Yeah.
I feel like super fulfilled with, you know, like that kind of thing too.
Sometimes, man, even the opposite. Sometimes I'll make a song and I'll be like, I don't know how I feel about this. But I'm just gonna throw it out
Yeah.
there, and then people will be like, Yeah, I love this.
Oh man, yeah, that happens so many times, dude.
Yeah.
It's funny how like sometimes the easiest ones, people are like, oh my god, that's so dope. I'm like, dude, that literally took me like 15 minutes. I'll like work on a beat for like 3 months, and people will be like, Like, you got this one that you made in like 15 minutes, and people are like, that's a banger. You know? It's like, all right. Sometimes it's just the simplest, stupidest, quickest
I mean, you're
thing,
capturing
dude.
a moment.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
capturing a moment, no
Yeah.
matter what it is. You're
Yeah.
capturing it in a different way, but that's in the end, you're finding different ways to capture that moment.
Yes.
And I think that's what's beautiful about music and the opportunity.
And that's
to do
a
that.
sign of a true artist too. You
Yeah.
know, like somebody
You
who's
think
really-
so?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Just heartfelt. You're doing it with like heart and purity, like pure intentions, I guess you could say. And if you're doing anything with pure intentions, if you keep on doing it and practicing, sooner or later, your shit's gonna pay off.
Yeah,
You know?
I 100% agree. I think that, and then that goes back to the whole thing I was saying about just knowing you want to get better. Just
Exactly.
Just
Yeah.
let it happen, man. Just let yourself
See?
be the one. Boom.
Full
Boom. We
rotation,
just did
full
a triple high
rotation.
five. Man, I could like half see behind my
Full
mic, so I was
rotation.
hoping. But
Funny.
But yeah, I just like I feel like it. I don't know. I think that the universe confirms whatever the philosophy might be. We are the stories that we tell ourselves.
Yeah. And,
So
and if you're putting in the work, you're telling that story to yourself, and
Yeah.
then it's going to manifest good shit when it comes to whatever. the
because
fuck
you're putting in
working
the
on.
work, and
Yeah.
that's the story.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that that's very important throughout everything that you do. I mean, man.
Yeah, heart centric, not egocentric.
Not egocentric.
Yeah.
Heart-centric?
Heart-centric, you know, like being like really heartfelt. Yeah, heart-centric.
Wow.
Not egocentric.
Yeah.
Like doing it for the right reasons.
I like that.
And then if you do what you love, the money will come. Or whatever, the benefits will come. Whether it's you want money or whether you want accolades or whether you want, I don't know, anything. Sooner or later, if you're doing what you love, that shit will come.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's about doing what you love and finding a way to really make it work.
Yeah.
Because if you want to do what you love and you really believe in it, you will find a way to make it work.
Exactly.
I think it's just one of those things where it's like the universe confirms itself.
Yeah.
Like, the only way to do what you love. And you're lucky enough that you live in a time and a place where you have the opportunity to do what you love.
Yeah, so do it.
So do it. And let the universe play itself out.
Exactly. Like, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
You know? It'll be dope.
It will be dope.
Yeah.
And even if it's not dope, it is dope because you
know you did it. You
did
it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's like...
it's like building a cabin or building, you know, from that to, just like anything.
Just
know?
anything.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like it goes back to what we started this whole conversation after we returned about the fact that we're both opened up to the world again, man.
Yeah.
I think that both of us have that opportunity to really follow these avenues in our own ways.
Yeah.
Like we're back in that first.
Let's see what happens. Let's go.
Yeah. We're
start.
on first base,
New
man.
chapter.
First base, is that what it is?
Start.
We're on go? I don't know what I'm looking for here.
We're looking for... This is going to be a brand new chapter of our novel.
I like that. I want a fresh start. I do want a fresh start in my
Yeah.
novel. I want a brand new chapter, a fresh start.
Yeah.
I want, like...
Chapter 13.
Chapter 13?
All
right. I like that number.
Chapter 45.
Which one it is? I'll take...
I just turned 45 in Friday, so I'll
dude,
say
I'm
chapter
about
45.
to turn 25.
Yeah.
How old did you just turn? You said 45?
45, yeah.
Wow,
Friday.
we're just about 20 years apart. Just about.
See?
Not far off, man. A whole lot of May birthdays I've seen lately.
Yeah.
Whole lot of them. But yeah, so...
Taurus are cool.
25, chapter 25 to chapter 35. Not too far apart. Switching over. I like that. And let's do it, man. Let's make these chapters stick out. Like, I really want these chapters to be different than what we've been doing. I want the people to see what we have to offer, my friend.
Yeah.
Because, dude, 45 is there's still a ways to go.
I got
you could
plenty
flip
of time.
the whole script right now. You could.
I'm going to.
You could change this whole thing up. I believe in. I want to get the name right. Who you got to tell it to me. Seth. Who won? When?
Je suis venu voir Seth, the band.
What'd you just say?
Je suis venu voir Seth.
Je suis venu voir Seth.
Yeah.
I believe in Je suis venu voir Seth, my friend.
You.
I really do.
Like carrots on wheat.
And it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of believing in yourself. It's a matter of following
and having
that.
fun and like just keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, well, think about it this way: you got all this time to follow that and just do it nonstop.
Yeah.
And like really push that.
Yeah.
And like, you know, you have to make money somehow, but you will find a way.
I will find a way.
But it's life telling you, it's life pushing you in that direction. Like, hey, there are other things.
Yeah, and I think it's good. I think it's really important to just keep that in mind because it's not the end of the world.
No.
Trust me, I'm going to survive.
It never is.
I will be fine. Whether I want to or I don't want to be, I will be just fine. So, like, bring it. Like, bring it on, life. I'm here for it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, let's go. It'll be fun. See what happens next. And it's like, I mean, I don't harbor any resentments. I love the experiences that I've had in my past, but I'm okay with the new start. It's cool. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, man. I'm ready. I'm ready. I always like a good rebirth.
Yeah, like new hair, new life.
New me. What do they call it? New what, new me? New what, new me?
New shoes, new you.
New shoes, new you. That's good.
That's true, though, man. I get new kicks.
New
I'm
butt,
like,
new
man, I
what?
feel so good, dude. I'm like, man,
New shoes are great.
Yeah, new shoes, a new haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, new shoes will.
New year, new me is what I was looking for. That was the one I was looking for.
I like new shoes.
I like new shoes, new you way more. Yours is way better. But I'm sorry, you were talking about new shoes.
Oh, man, no, yeah. But I mean, like, it's like that thing. Like, fresh starts.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's all like it's like when you get out of a shower and you feel nice and fresh.
Yeah.
Like I think one thing that attracts me to Chicago as my fresh start is that I heard. Are you familiar with Casey Neistat at all?
No.
So he's a prolific YouTube creator. He's kind of the guy who revolutionized the vlog in a way.
Okay.
He kind of took the vlog and made it something that was a true storytelling thing. He might even be the person who really paved the way for vlogs in general. He might have been the guy.
Okay.
But he's an expert at storytelling. And he was on a podcast recently talking about how one thing about being in New York and why he loves New York so much is that there's stories all over the place. There's a story
City
everywhere.
is
You
full
go
of
outside, you get
stories.
smacked in the face with a story.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that attracts me to that type of environment.
Oh,
It's
you're
like,
gonna-
I just don't see enough stories around here. There's
You're
not
gonna
enough.
run into some stories.
I
and
want
It's
'em.
funny, yeah. I mean, you will. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you start getting out and getting out of your comfort zone and just pushing yourself a little bit, some really, really awesome things that can happen. There's gonna be some really funny, weird shit that's gonna freak you the fuck out. And
dude, I
but
feel
it's
like,
okay.
and it's okay. And I feel like I haven't been
gonna
living. I don't
pass.
have those
Yeah,
stories.
yeah.
They're not
Feel
in
ya.
my fucking catalog. I don't have
Go
stories.
get those stories. Why?
I just don't got enough
Ride
of
those
them.
rapids.
And I ain't afraid of it, man.
Yeah, don't be.
I ain't afraid of it.
Yeah, enjoy the ride, dude.
Yeah. I think that one thing I've always loved about interviews, about podcasts, about people in general is that they're so different from one another and they all offer different stories.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes those stories might not be the most welcoming, but you're part of a story.
Yeah,
You just
and
have to accept that. You're
Yep.
somewhere within that and you have to figure out what your role is real quick.
Yeah.
And everybody's got different
everybody's
roles
got
and
a
different
story.
stories. And
Everybody's
got
got
a
a
story.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's cool.
So it's really interesting just to to
Document
to
it.
be a part of somebody else's story for just a moment and to get a
Appreciate
glimpse.
that, man.
Well,
Appreciate that.
dude, it's just great to get an understanding
like,
of how
therapy.
different people might be, and it is. what the podcast
It's
are just
kind of like therapy, yeah.
in a way, yeah.
In a way.
I think that's why I was telling you off camera while we were on break. I feel like I bring people in and I just get all like philosophical on them. Like I'm just.
Yeah,
I'm tricking
man.
them.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I'm getting free therapy right now.
Yeah, I'm giving them free therapy. session. Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad that because that makes me the therapist.
Yeah. It's good.
But like, anyway,
I'm okay with being the patient.
I'll take it. Hey, if I'm the patient, I'll take it. I could be having issues. I got plenty.
Yeah, I mean,
got
it's
plenty.
just nice to be able to talk and chat and just
Yeah.
get things out of your mind, out of your brain, and just talk about different. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? Even if we agree or don't, just agree to disagree and just have a good conversation.
And there's something about
And get people's
talking
philosophies.
that out and the mixture of those philosophies. I think that a lot of magic is found
Yeah,
in the middle
absolutely.
of not just our issues, but everything. Like we
Yeah.
need to communicate in order to
Absolutely.
find something different than what occurs within the bubble that your
Yeah.
ideas are formed in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
You
it's
need
just they're not
to-
going to grow beyond that unless you
Yeah.
share them.
Yep.
It's
exactly.
why collaboration is
You
something
need-
I believe
yeah.
in so deeply.
Yes, you need to get the back and forth, so
Yeah.
you can kind of just get an idea of how people are and get an understanding and like where they've been and yeah, just in general like their whole like perception of existence.
Yeah, and dude, it's the thing that gets me that I
Like,
think
what
about
it-
a lot is that we all form our own perception
Yeah.
of existence. And
Yeah.
the reason I know that is because I've had my own different versions of it at so many different points in my life.
Yeah.
Like I can pinpoint it. I'll be like, wow, I know it. And the
Yeah.
fact that I've made music and art helps.
Yeah,
I
it
like it
helps
because
a
it
lot
is
with that.
sort of a time capsule. in
It
a
is,
way.
yeah.
Like I can go back and listen to music I made about 5 years ago, and I'll remember the exact way I was
Yeah.
thinking about things. And
I
what
wonder
was
if that's
going
good for
through.
you.
I think so.
I think it's good for you.
I think it's a bit therapeutic.
I think it's very therapeutic because I have the same thing. I have an insane catalog of music that
Yeah.
I made. So it's like to just listen back to old albums that I released with different bands and stuff like that. It's cool. It's like I have a discography.
Yeah,
I have my life.
It gives you and it's intimate when it's you, man. Because
Yeah,
like the
it's cool.
discography thing is one thing. Like you've built this castle
Yeah.
of work,
And it's-
like,
but it's
oh my
like-
god,
it's
I
like-
made this 15 years ago.
Oh my god, I was thinking that way at that time.
Yeah.
Or like, what was I trying to do with this? Or like,
But
that's
only
so
you
funny.
can have that thought.
Yeah.
That's
And
why I
sometimes
think it's so
like-
beautiful to
yeah.
have that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you go back to certain things that you made like a long time ago that you were like hating on. And then you're like, holy shit, I was ahead of my goddamn time. This is
Yeah.
a banger. Like, holy, I couldn't even recognize the beauty of it because I was too wrapped up in it. Now that it's 5 years later, I'm listening to it. It's like, damn, I did that? What?
Yeah.
That's dope. Which is rad to me. I love that. I love when I listen to something that I did a long time ago and it's like dope. I'm like, whoa, that
Yeah.
really stood up to the test of time. Like, it's not out of style. It's like still got a good like
It's still
modern,
staying true to what
staying
you.
true to like that classic whatever it is. Not being
Yeah.
too hokey.
Yeah, I mean, there's something about like when you hear a song and you're like, wow, like that one.
Yeah,
That
it's a
one,
banger.
that's gonna
Or
live
when you
on.
hear one and you're like, God damn, I made that. That's so goofy. Why did I do that?
Yeah. I
like
can think of a couple of those.
yeah,
on my
yeah,
end.
exactly. So it's
Yeah.
like the back and forth. But I think it's cool. Like making music is like having a time capsule.
Yeah.
You just-
And I think that like I feel like the fact that I can go back and look at that and that's just there's so much different there's so many different thought processes that went on there.
Yeah.
Like I know that I was not looking at the world in the same exact way
Yeah.
that I look at the world now. I wasn't even looking at the world the same way I look at it now 3 months ago.
Yeah. They're always
I
changing.
was fundamentally a different person 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Compared to what I am
even
now.
like keeping track of funny things that happen. The funny viewpoints that you have, like your internal viewpoint of
Yeah.
how you view something, and you write it down and you capture it in words, and to just like look back at that and be like, that's funny, dude. Hey, that's funny the way that totally like, it's true. That's real talk.
I mean, it's the same thing in a way. You're capturing it.
Yeah, exactly.
capturing it.
Like we had I was in this hip hop group called Nihilo Sanctum Estine, and we had this song called. We used to play downtown at the Loft, like all the time, and a lot of places downtown, and we had this song called "Dang." It was just like the simplest song in the world. It was one of those things that I made the beat in like 15 minutes, and we were just like, "Dang." And that's like what that song evolved into. But there's this line that's like, if you chip your tooth on a cigarette machine, say dang. Dang. And it's because at one of our shows, our friend was like getting down and it was in the middle of winter, so the floor was all wet. It was at the Loft and he fucking slipped and he chipped his tooth on the cigarette machine. That was there back in the day. So it's like, I would probably never remember that if it wasn't because we put that in that song.
Oh, wow.
Like, it is just like every time I hear that line, it brings me back to that time, that fun night that we were all being goofy. My friend tipped over, or he slipped in the water and chipped his tooth on a cigarette machine. We were giggling like little girls. Like, we were like giggling. We were laughing so hard because this shit happened. He was like getting it. Like, we had to stop the show and everything because we were laughing so hard. Because he was, like, getting down. And then, oh, my God. So we put that stupid line in that song, and it's just, like, I remember that to this day, just whenever I hear that song.
Wow.
But it's kind of cool to, like, do like, things like that. I mean,
That's crazy, man.
to get the whole time capsule, like remembering some funny, stupid shit that happened in your past, or
And the
how
other
you
part that goes
felt.
even beyond that is
Yeah,
like beyond the
how you
personal
felt.
part of that. Well, yeah, you just remember everything. You remember all the details.
exactly.
That's
You
what gets
smell
me.
it almost.
Yeah.
It's weird, dude.
Like that it comes back to you
Yeah.
because of like there's the trigger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wild.
It is wild. It's wild the way the memory works
Yeah,
like that.
it is.
And I think two things. I'll go this way with it first. I feel like that to me. I feel like I really urge people. I want people to take from this whole thing we're talking about here. Like, if you're younger especially, but no matter who you are, like find your way of expressing yourself if you haven't already. Go deep into that because that lives on through, like your work will live on, and it lives on through the fact that you did it and through the work that is evident in the world. You can look at it, you can see it, it exists. So no matter what your work is, you'll find a way to do it differently and do it your own way and refine it. And the fact that it can live on through time and pass that test of time.
You never know who you're working for.
You never know.
You know, you never know who you're working for.
And you never know what you're working towards.
Yeah, you might find there might be one person who, here's a good little story. I was in this band called Pour Me, and we were in Ann Arbor. We were formed in Ann Arbor, and we played a show at the Capitol, or not the Capitol, but the local 432 downtown.
Downtown Flint, folks.
Downtown Flint, yeah. And we played. And it was really good set. And I went outside because I was like exhausted because it was like 7 songs straight in a row. And sat down on the curb, and this little kid was sitting down on the curb, and I sat down next to him, and I was like, "What's up, little man? How you living?" And he was like, "Oh my God!" Like he was like starstruck that I like actually came out just to talk to him. This kid. It was just a night where I was just sitting next to him, and I was like, "Yo, dude, that's what's up, man. I'm glad." He was like, "This is my first show I've ever been to, and you guys were awesome." I gave him a CD and shit, and it ended up I seen him like 10 years later. This kid, I didn't know who it was, and he was touring in Ireland. He figured out how to do the whole bus system. He bought our when he got our CD. He learned how to play every single song on the CD, and he became a musician. And he was touring in Ireland when I met him.
Wow!
And he was like, the whole reason I started making music is because you came up and you sat next to me at that show, and talked to me, and like showed me love. And I was like, that's wild, yo. You never know who you're working for. You know, I inspired this kid.
Is that what you mean by that? You never know who you're working for? Like, you never
you never know who you're going to inspire. You never know who you...
Wow, I didn't know you meant it like that.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it, man.
Yeah, it was so wild, dude. I was like, what?
Yeah.
This kid, I've seen him, and he was like, who are you? I know you. You look so familiar. Have you been in any bands? I'm like, yeah, I was in this band called Pour Me. He's like, oh my God. And he told me this story, dude. He's like, I'm on tour in Ireland right now. I'm just home for the holiday. And the whole reason I started making music is because of you.
Wow.
And that one conversation that you had with me on the sidewalk.
Man, I mean, it makes me
I was
think,
like, that's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Never know who you're working for.
The most moving experiences I've ever had with my art is when I've had similar things to that occur.
Yeah,
someone
it like
says,
touched me so much. I was like, whoa.
When someone says like it made me feel like a lot of the times the ones that are coming to me right now, I was on stage and I get off stage and I'll get like a message on a social media or something of somebody saying, "Hey, I just saw you perform and like you
empowered me.
You made me feel like I can make my own art." Like just like
yeah, that's what's up.
Exactly what I try to do.
Yeah.
Like they're just typing it out. Like it's like I've achieved the goal.
Yeah.
Like if I make that happen for one person, dude,
yeah.
I did it.
That's heart-centric.
I did it, and it means so much to me to hear them say that. It's heart-centric. It reminds me what I'm doing it for.
Yeah.
And to me, it's such a beautiful thing to hear them say that
Do
about
what you
anything.
love and the money will come.
If I heard someone say that they make music because of me,
I was blown
a conversation
away
they had with me
when they were a little kid. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, really? Dude, really? I remember, but I didn't remember the situation until he brought it up. And now it's like, I remember that exact day. We played the show. We were playing with the Kyotos brothers, and it was local 432, and it was and I got off stage and I went outside and so hot because I was singing my balls off, and just went and sat down next to this little kid, and I didn't remember it ever until he brought it up.
Yeah.
And he was like 10. This was 10 years later, so he looked completely different. It was so wild. I was like blown away. I'm like, oh my God, really?
Yeah.
That is wild.
To me, man, it's so
And
gratifying.
he's so dope. He's
so gratifying to hear that, because it's like, it reminds you that like your actions are so much beyond you. Like, and he's dope. Like,
so dope.
You inspired that dopeness.
Yeah,
like, without
dude.
you
So
just talking to this dude, that dopeness wouldn't
Yeah,
be
I know, right?
out there.
Which is
Like,
rad,
it's crazy
dude.
that our actions can cause
Yeah.
just little ripple effects
Yeah.
like that with one another.
And
Everything matters that much.
Yeah.
What we say matters, and the way
You
we
never
talk
know
to
who you're working for.
We never know who you're working for, man. Never know who you're working for. And I mean, like, it's just, that's so cool that we can do that to one another through how we express ourselves, and
just being open.
just being open, yeah.
And non-judgmental and nice. You know, that's the thing.
And I don't even know if it's just that. I think, like, there's certain points in life when you need to hear the right things.
Yeah.
And
being real, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not scared to like talk to if somebody's fucking up, I'll be like, yo, chill. Like, here's the deal. But you know, yeah, that's all like one of those types. Yeah. You got to take the good, you got to take the bad. But if you take them both, I feel like I'm gonna sing "Facts of Life."
Bust into another full-on song. I'll be into it.
Take it good, you take it bad, you take them both.
I mean, I just, like, I feel like, man, life's a beautiful thing, ain't it? Life's a beautiful thing,
I guess
man.
that's what they say. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you got the facts of life.
Yeah.
Motherfucking facts of life. You sneaker. You sneaky devil, you.
You sneaky devil. You little sneaky devil. You facts of life.
Telling us the facts of life.
I feel it's yin and yang, ain't it?
Yeah.
The
you
good
got
and the bad.
Yeah. Bring it.
I prefer it a little more than being a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, I prefer more good though now.
More good?
Yeah, but I'm okay. I'm heavily equipped to deal with the silliness too. So it's like,
I think that, like, the whole thing for yin and yang for me is, like, it makes me respect the fact that there is a balance. Like, to get better, to refine yourself, to make anything that's worth value, it takes a little bit of darkness, a little bit of struggle, a little bit of pain.
Yeah.
And I think that's the truth in the yin and the yang, is that, like, you can't have the good without the bad.
Yeah.
They gotta fight one another.
Yeah.
They gotta work, and then it creates the circle.
Yeah. Sometimes things got to get better before they get worse. Or sometimes things got to get worse before they get better. It's like cleaning your room. You got to take everything, put it in a pile, and mess up your room in order to clean your room, because you got to see what everything is. So it's like it's got to get worse before it gets better. That's life, you know. It's like sometimes it's just got to get worse before it gets better, and then it will, and then it changes, and this too shall pass, and then we forget about it, and then we go on to the next fucking tragedy, and that's life in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
Signing out. Mr. Stolz. No, just kidding.
Is that for life? Of life?
No!
No, Seth,
I'll be
no!
back next week!
I mean, man, I just feel like life is a constant problem-solving thing.
Yeah.
I think so. I think life is constantly, like, finding... How I like to look at it is it's like you're constantly trying to fill a hole, and the hole just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah.
That's kind of what life is. Mm-hmm. It's like you're filling a hole, and then you realize, oh, shit, like, this hole has gotten way bigger since I got in here.
Yeah. I gotta keep up on that hole.
And it never ends.
It never
the
ends.
Whole,
Yeah.
Like, you'll never fill the hole.
Yeah, you never fill the hole.
And
So you gotta understand, like, that you gotta be okay with that.
You gotta be okay with just the fact that you're picking up dirt,
Yeah.
and you're trying to fill a hole.
Yeah.
You gotta
Just
be
trying your
okay with
hardest.
that
Yeah.
being
Yep, that's all you
life.
need to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because, like, people think about it like one day this hole's gonna be full.
Yeah,
and
they're
then
never
then-
satisfied. Never satisfied. Never satisfied.
Sometimes that
If
hole
you
does
like-
get full, like, in some
yeah,
ways.
and then
you accomplish
good
certain
luck.
goals.
Yeah.
And but then you realize the hole's not actually full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It'd
then,
be like that.
Yeah. Yep.
And that can go for all kinds of things. Like, when it comes to even minor goals. Like,
Anything.
Like, even having a kid. Like, I bet the 8 months you're about to have a kid, you're like, man, this is life. This is life. Like, life is finally coming together. And then, like, now you've had a kid for 10 years. It's like, oh, damn, life never ended. Like,
Yeah, it's like, it's like, it is what it is.
it is what it is. Yeah. It just goes on, man.
It's like the cycle continues, and the whole, never really, So all you got to do is just enjoy the fill up.
But optimize that
And,
fill up.
just
Make that
be
fill up the
cool
fill up
about
that's
it.
best for you.
Yeah,
fam.
exactly.
Everybody fills up different. That's why your boy Ruse is going to Chicago. I tell you.
Watch out, world. Here he comes.
Watch out, world. I feel like one thing that might benefit me is that I feel like Chicago's music scene might respect a Ruse a little bit more.
There'd be a lot more potential.
I think so. Because
Yeah.
I think Flint, like, the problem
It'll be fun.
with Flint, people kind of expect just a fun,
Yeah.
laid back, like, vibe where your lyrics aren't even doing too much. You're just having a good time.
You're gonna have definitely a lot more of a cooler hip hop scene.
I
there.
think so.
Chi-Town's dope for fucking hip hop, man.
I think so, man.
Yeah. So that's gonna be fun.
I hope so.
Take it by storm, kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will.
And even like if you're doing the comedy thing too, I'm sure there's probably way more comedy places where you could perform and shit like that too. So
For those that don't know, Ruse is going to be a comedian. It's gonna happen. I know that I have the capabilities.
Yeah.
I've said it. I've said this podcast is a comedy podcast, and I'll hold to it. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might as well be.
sure.
And so, I mean, like, yeah, I'm a comedian, guys, and one day you'll see this man on the stage ripping it. I just feel like, it's not, my whole theory is that it's not like rap where people, if they didn't like it, they'll even clap. Like, they'll just, oh, okay, and then they move on.
You should try to see if you can find one of those like exercise places that are like for like
improv
type thing or
well,
something.
first of all, I was gonna say, like, the difference between it and that is like people clap, courtesy clap for hip hop. When you're doing comedy, they'll just watch you and they're not gonna give you reactions and having a good time. Like, you're failing.
Yeah, exactly.
When you fail when you rap, it's okay. You can just move on. When you fail when you do comedy, you bomb.
You bomb.
But
So it's a big gamble.
it's a gamble, and I think improv would help. I think that before we did the podcast, before we started, I said to you like, "Hey, how do you feel about improv?" Blah blah blah, because I did improv a little bit way back in school, and I haven't done it in a long time.
Yeah.
But improv can be fun.
Yeah, it's a good exercise.
It's a good exercise,
Yeah.
but comedy improv's tough. Like, if you're trying to be funny and you're doing improv,
and quick. You gotta be quick.
you gotta be quick. There's a whole lot
clever.
going on there.
Yep.
A lot of the time when I'm freestyling, I'll fall into comedy.
I think it's rad though, and people can do it good. It's awesome.
Yeah,
and play off
for
each
sure.
other. Yeah, it's cool.
Like, if we started doing improv right now, we'd probably fail.
Yeah, probably.
That's why I asked you before we did the
But,
podcast. I was
right.
like, "Huh, you do improv?" I was thinking we could just jump into some improv.
we're just sitting here. Our fucking hands are all tied up behind our backs and shit. We're screaming knock knock jokes at the wall. Shit. It's like, what just
Trying to make it
happened?
work.
We were trying to do improv. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Just happened.
Yeah. 7 hours into the podcast.
Just banging our heads against the wall.
I mean, hey, man.
Gotta
Hey,
start
man.
somewhere.
Different strokes for different folks. That's all I'm saying.
Shit.
Don't judge a man. Just improv, Mom. It's nothing big. You never seen that before? I feel like I can maybe pull it off. It's just a matter of with comedy.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of refining bits and like understanding how that works. Because
Yeah.
I have not even really seen that much stand up. Maybe being
Pause.
somewhere like Chicago.
Pause for emphasis.
Yes, exactly.
You know,
the
like
right
things,
pause, comedic timing.
Yeah, comedic timing.
I just kind of tell stories.
Yeah.
I make myself giggle sometimes. About as
Yeah.
simple as that.
Yeah.
Whereas if I was trying to refine a bit, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe being somewhere like Chicago, being surrounded by more stories, more people, more
think-
culture, that
yeah.
would maybe help me to understand even how to make that work a little bit better.
Absolutely. Yep.
Because like the bit of reality I'm getting now, I don't know if my comedic sense would work in a big crowd. I don't know if I know what I'm doing.
Sure.
I'd probably fail. Maybe not. Maybe I'm one of those people.
Yeah,
I feel
you
like
could be- you
I'm
could
just
be
funny
like a
without
natural-
trying. I
I
say
think-
stupid shit.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I just find a way to make that work on a stage,
Yep. That's all you got to
Perfect.
do.
Just say the
you
right stupid shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like understand the whole idea of like there's like this one friend that I have, and he wants to be a comedian, and he's not very funny.
yeah.
I mean, I love the kid to death, and but he goes about like making fun of people. And it comes off wrong, and it's so goofy and so cringy.
But he just doesn't have a sense.
And he doesn't have a sense of like reading the room and like understanding like the whole idea of just being like. I mean, you can kind of make fun of someone, but you can don't do that right away.
Yeah.
Like, don't make that your thing. Like, make fun of yourself. At the very most. I mean, like, if you're going to make fun of anyone, make fun of yourself.
Or if you're going to make fun of things, you have to be really funny.
Yeah, like, really have a funny... But my whole thing is, like, stick to stories.
Yeah.
Stick to funny things that have happened in your day. You can't go wrong that way. If you just stick to, like, stories that we've all been there. If you do that in a funny way, then you're gonna get the waka waka wakas.
The waka waka.
no.
I think what's fun about comedy, what's interesting to me about it, is kind of like music in the sense that there's uncharted territory. There's different ways you can approach
many different ways,
and different ways you can approach
styles,
things that nobody else has done before. Different styles, and by honing your craft and by getting better at communicating, you're able to approach these topics in a way that nobody else ever would.
Yeah. And you can really drive the point home, and it's like very relatable, and
I mean, and it's not easy to have your own way of approaching a topic, especially the
that was
tough ones.
That was the funniest part about that. That's one thing, going back to the whole Jehovah Witness thing, is that theocratic ministry school where they had to do like the critiquing of your presentation and everything like that. They would have like different things that you had to like work on. Like today you're working on pausing for emphasis, gestures, eye contact, posture, and like all kinds of weird, crazy stuff.
Just random
It was
being
basically like,
human
yeah,
things.
just random being human things. But it was so funny because you'd be like, well, you did really good on sometimes you fail. Like, I failed pausing for emphasis. Okay.
Hey, you got an F at raising your eyebrows. You have to come back.
We're going to have you work on gestures a little bit more, Mr. Stolz. And then pausing for emphasis would be a really good thing for you to work on, too. Like, dude, I wanted to just get off that stage as quick as possible. Fuck your pause.
Yeah. Fuck your pause. For real. I mean, who are they? Who are they? Maybe my 0 pauses for emphasis.
I mean, let me naturally define my pause when I find my pause.
Right.
You know?
Maybe I got my own tempo.
Yeah, I'm going to figure it out. Leave me alone.
You don't know my tempo.
Theocratic ass ministry school.
See, I've always had trouble with even like... I've just always had trouble fitting into a certain scheme. Like, I've always felt like it's like, oh, you guys are telling me it's this way, but I just can't believe you. I know there's more to the story than whatever you're saying. I can't believe whatever version I'm hearing. And I've been like that since I was a kid.
I've been like that since I was a little kid, too.
Yeah.
Nothing really made sense. Nothing fit. And I was like, this is so weird.
And I think, if you were in that type of situation, for sure, it would just drive you nuts.
Yeah.
Because it'd be like, there's no way that you guys...
There's hella no way that this is how it's going. And what we're supposed to be doing and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, it was always like the patriotism that got me as a kid. Because, I mean, like, nowadays it's a lot more popular to be like, I'm an anti-patriot. No, to be anti that. The patriotism, so, like, screw capitalism. Like, you can just go the complete opposite direction and be, like, anti-government and this and that. Sure. But when I was a kid, that wasn't as popular. That wasn't really a mainstream. You wouldn't see that anywhere. Maybe a little bit, but it wasn't common for... Maybe back in the 60s it was. Yeah. But, like, when I was a kid... You know what? I would argue even now... For something like standing for the flag, this is one thing that gets me. Because to me, it's a groupthink type of thing. And I stood by this as a kid. I'll stand by it now. And this still probably goes on. So this never went anywhere. Where it's like you're standing for the flag. You got to put your hand on your heart. Do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, Pledge of Allegiance.
So to me, it's like, what? You want me to do what now? Yeah. In our free country, where we're all free. And that's that thing that we all like is freedom. You want me to do something that we all
so
have
funny.
to do, or else it's not socially acceptable, and I'm gonna get shunned in our free country. We're all free, and I'm talking to. I was in elementary school. I had this figured out. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And so I never stood for the flag. Not
That's funny.
once.
That is so
Because to
funny.
me, that is the weirdest. Like,
That's
they
great
did that
that
in
you had
North
that-
Korea. You guys are crazy.
That's great that you had that integrity to do it. I couldn't. My parents would every single time, or when I first started school, from my kindergarten or my whole elementary class, which just led to everything else, middle school and all that stuff. Everybody knew I couldn't, because my mom would come in, and because we had to be like neutral, politically, and we don't pledge our allegiance to anything but God.
Ooh.
So we're not going to pledge our allegiance to the worldly association.
Not allowed.
And so I couldn't do it. Like, and so my parents knew, or I mean, all my teachers all just knew that Seth didn't have to do it. So I never did it. I never pledged allegiance to a flag one time in my life. It's so weird to think
You got an
about.
out though.
I think it's
You
funny.
had an out, right? You
I
had an
heard
excuse.
it a million times.
I mean, see, but you never wanted to either. You
I
never
didn't
had that
care.
in
I
you?
didn't really have like a major like alliance to anything politically. I've always kind of just felt like politics are just politics, just talking heads on teleprompters that are just
But how
trying
old were
to
you?
control us in one way or shape or form.
How old were you when this was all?
Kindergarten, from when I was kindergarten when I went to school.
Oh, okay.
Started school.
Same age as me.
So like I never.
You had formed your
ne-
opinion on politicians all the way back then.
I mean, I
Fuck these
really
guys.
didn't, but the main thing was my parents were like, you can't celebrate, you can't pledge allegiance. If I would have pledged allegiance to the flag, I would have told on myself probably, because I was so like trying to be a good little guy, or somebody would have said that I pledged allegiance to the flag, and then I would have gotten in trouble. Which is funny, because I think about it, and I'm like, that's so crazy. I remember there was this one time where we couldn't stand for the national anthem as well. So it was super weird going to, like, baseball games and stuff, because people would get mad at us because we wouldn't stand up for the national anthem. It was so odd, because we had to be, like, neutral and not pay respects to anything except for Jehovah God.
It's so funny because, like,
It was so
I did not
weird.
expect that to tie back into Jehovah's Witness.
It was so
I did
weird.
not expect it to go back to Jehovah, and it did.
Yeah.
It did.
It was a wild thing.
But it's funny because, like, it probably ingrained that thought process in you in a sort of different way. If you think if your mom didn't tell you that, you would have done it anyway, or do you think no? Because I mean,
I don't
everybody
know.
else does it.
I probably would have done it if I had
Probably.
to do it. I mean, I wouldn't have.
I'm
I
real
would have
amazed
never.
I didn't.
I would have never questioned it.
Yeah,
The only reason I didn't do it is because my parents told me not to.
and it's great that you didn't.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of crazy.
I think
that
it is
that's
wild.
how it worked
Yeah, it is
out,
weird.
right?
That's funny. You're like the first person that's like ever
Connected on
connected
that?
on that. That's fucking hilarious.
I mean, dude, well, no one's ever really connected with me on that in a way either.
it's
But it's
wild.
the way we
But
connect
it's
on it's
true.
funny
But it's-
because
yeah.
you do have the Jehovah's Witness aspect to
Yeah.
it, where it's you were told not to.
Yeah.
you were told don't do
Yeah,
this.
yeah. You can't stand up for the national anthem, so people would get mad at us whenever we go to sporting events and stuff like
but
that.
I guess your parents had a
Like-
similar thought process to me. Because, like, they were thinking the same type of way where it's like, no, this is our
Yeah.
belief.
Yeah.
We're not bending. We're
Yeah,
not breaking.
absolutely.
Don't participate in
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Because that's what I was thinking.
And I
I'm
admired
thinking,
that.
what-
I mean,
what?
I admired the fact that my parents had that strong of a belief.
And they couldn't do
to-
that in a different country.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
They have the freedom to
Yeah,
express that.
Yeah, yeah. So
That
I
they
was, like,
have that belief.
okay with it, but I was always like, this is stupid. Like, why? Who cares? Like, can I just not? Can I just stand up for the fucking national anthem because everybody's gonna be mean to me? Shit. I don't want to deal with that today. Not today, please. Like, I would dread assemblies like at our school because we'd have the national anthem and I just couldn't stand up, and I'd be like the only one in the high school that wasn't standing.
See,
People would
man.
be like mad at me, just mean mugging me, and it'd be like,
See, that's what's so weird about it to me. Is that's what's weird about it. That All of that. That's why I rejected it immediately, because I saw like the groupthink aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like the fact that you guys are even giving into that, that's weird.
Yep.
Like you know that like yeah, it's great that we have this great country. It's great that we have the privileges that we do. Don't get me wrong. That stuff's great, and I'm not denying that when I don't stand for a flag. I'm just saying that I believe in this freedom so much that I'm gonna exercise it.
Yeah, I'm free.
By not standing for the
Yeah,
flag.
exactly. It's so
not that complicated.
Yeah, it's wild. It's weird, man.
That should be a good thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So
I think it's
yeah.
very weird
No,
that people get
it is
caught up
funny.
in that patriotism thing where it's like, I want my country to
Yeah.
my country good. I love my country
It's
so
like
much.
somebody screaming at their TV when their favorite sports team is losing. Like they can hear you.
I thought about it the same way, man. I mean, the only way
like, what are you
that
talking-
can
like,
really
why?
work, the only way that if you're doing that and it's completely rational, is if you have money riding on it.
Yeah.
It's the only way. If there's no bet taking place, you need to calm down, my man.
They can't hear you.
They can't hear
They
you.
can't hear you.
But if there's money riding on it, okay, I'm
Bet.
with you, brother.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I feel you on that. Yeah. That's good.
How much we working with, man? 50, 100?
So what's
going
on this?
here?
Oh shit! You got the house on this one?
I never did sports betting. How about you?
No.
The house.
I'm like
you bet the whole house on this.
I am the most unlucky person in the world, dude.
Yeah, the closest I've gotten is stocks, and that's bad. I shouldn't even have messed with that.
Yeah,
I've done okay, but I
could be a cooler, I think. Like
Okay.
a person who goes to like a casino and makes people lose by sitting next to them, like give them bad luck. Like that's how bad my luck is on fucking betting and casinos. It's like I always lose money like right away. I'm like, that was dumb. Like I'm gonna go drink.
Wow.
Like I'm good.
Yeah, that
my
sounds
my
about
ex-wife
right.
was like super good again. She could go like gamble and her money would just last. Like she'd just keep winning and like things would happen. And
She's the rare one. Don't fall for it.
I was like, dude, how does this work? I ran out of money in like 20 minutes.
No.
I'm going.
No, she's an advertisement for the casino. They saw her walk in with you, and they're like, let's get this fucking guy.
I knew she had a secret life.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, those casinos are smart. They got this figured out. Especially
I
the
bet
way-
you I could be that guy. I could be a cooler. Like a guy who
Think so?
just sits next to people to break their good
You probably
luck.
could.
Yeah.
Just suck so bad that
Yeah,
they'll
it sucks
suck
so
worse.
bad. They're just gonna suck being around me, like not win at all. If they're on a big winning streak.
I didn't know there was a name for those guys.
Yeah, they're coolers.
Just,
it's like
they
the
suck
cool-
so bad that like whoever's next to them just falls apart.
Just falls apart.
Why is it a cooler? Is there a reason it would be
I don't
named
know.
that?
Not really sure.
Why am
I
I
think it's like
cooling?
cool it, maybe. That's the way I look at it.
Cool it.
Like cool it, like stop winning.
Oh.
Like, chill out, or like I don't know.
I don't know.
Like you're on a hot streak.
Okay.
I'm
and you're
I'm cooling
it.
Yeah, I'm cooling your hot streak.
Cooler.
Yeah, I'm a cooler.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're a cooler.
Break
Okay.
your good. Yeah, break your goods. You know. Like,
You want a hot streak, bitch? I'm the cooler. Make it work.
You would like a hot streak. I'll be like a cooler.
Yeah. Bitch, I cut you up. My homies call me Abdullah. I'd come up with something. I could make that work.
Yeah, you can make something work.
Fula, rula. Abdullah's a good word. It's got to make that fit better. I mean, Abdullah's
Yeah.
good. Butcher. What's he even do? What's
could
Abdullah the Butcher? A wrestler?
You could say something about J-Ray the Damager. Yeah.
I could.
I mean, modern day J-Ray the Damager.
I think so. I don't know. I don't know where I would want to go with that one. I don't know. These bars are unwritten. It's uncharted. It's on. It's a
J-Ray
temple
the
that we haven't been
Damager,
to.
man. I have not listened to that dude in forever. I need to listen to that album.
I haven't listened. Is it
Have you
classic
listened?
hip hop?
Yeah, it's
I haven't listened to a lot of
90s.
that
Check
classic.
that out.
Hey man, if you wanted to give me, you have
Yeah.
Spotify?
Yeah.
If you wanted to give me a classic hip hop playlist,
I will. I'll
Like, for
shoot
real,
you one,
I'm
yeah.
being for
Yeah,
real.
yeah. I got you on that.
I would really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Because
there's a lot of cool shit you'd love.
Yeah, exactly.
And then because your shit does sound, it has like a little bit of that '90s throwback sound to it.
I get that a
in
lot.
way.
You know what
It's awesome.
Thank
it's
you.
like we need more of that. It sounds like Guru, and like
Well, dude, it's funny 'cause I
old
haven't heard a lot of
Nas.
it.
Like,
What'd you just
like
say?
early Nas and stuff like that, all that kind of stuff, man.
What was the one you said before that?
Um,
Guru?
Guru.
Never heard of that.
Jazzmatazz.
Okay.
Is an album that, like, a lot of your stuff.
You told me someone on a Facebook message that my stuff reminded you of. Was that?
I can't remember.
One of those?
You got a lot of that throwback '90s sound to
Thank
it,
you,
which I think
man.
is rad. You know, I think it's like one of the best times of hip hop.
Well, I was gonna say one of my favorite compliments I've gotten is that I'm a combination of old school and new school, and like it's like a whole different thing.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
And I really would like to, like, I'd like to think that that's kind of what I am. Like I'm old school, but the fact is I'm not even old school on purpose.
Yeah.
So because old school wasn't old school when it was old school. That's
Yeah.
how I like to describe it.
Yeah.
Like when old school was just happening and it was just coming out, they weren't
Yeah.
calling it old school.
No.
It was just rap.
Yep.
So it's like it's
rap.
become old school, but
It's like
it
that
was just
90s
a vibe.
rap.
It was
90s
just their
rap.
90s rap, dude, and it was how they were vibing.
90s hip hop.
90s hip hop. That is what it was at the time. That's
And
one
it's
thing I
pure.
love about music is like they were making stuff that couldn't be made now. It was pure.
Yeah.
It's 90s hip hop. It was what it was.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to think of me as like some type of mediator.
Yeah, man,
I'm
it's just,
finding a spot somewhere in the middle between
love it, dude.
what
It's
hip hop
awesome.
was, where it was straight from the heart. It was what's the word? Heart centric.
Yeah.
Where it was heart centric, because I think
Yep.
hip hop used to be from the soul, man.
Yeah, of course.
I really
The
think so,
best,
and I think that it's the true hip hop artists, the ones that really believe in what hip hop can represent.
Yeah.
They believe in the craft. They're still spitting from the soul. They're still doing that.
Yeah.
And those are the people that drive me.
Conscious.
I think a lot of hip hop, conscious hip hop. Yes.
Yeah, conscious hip hop and like
think-
conscious and like also like just mix, artistic, exploring the ways to throw around different cadences and stuff like that to make something interesting and also building off of
Yes.
people like one of my favorite artists is like Sadat X from Brand Nubian, and he's just got like such a funny little flow, and I've found myself like fashioning some of my cadences around his because they're just very weird, and I love it. It's
Well,
so
the cadences
awesome.
you choose are a personal expression.
Yeah, exactly.
They really are.
Yeah. So it's like he's got a funny way, and it's like really real.
Yeah.
Like just to the point. It's like it's rap, but it's like just like talking shit kind of.
Yeah.
But like in a good way. Like I don't know. It's weird. But I mean, yeah, it's like I think that we do. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know why we got on that.
Well, he's building on to rap.
But
in
yeah,
his own
like
way.
and your
We're
style,
building on to
but your
things.
style and everything.
Yeah.
That mid '90s is like my favorite time for hip hop. Like that was the shit. That's just so classic to me. So I like when I hear somebody who's, manifesting that modern day.
Dude, well, that's what. For one, we got onto it because of playlist, which I would love
Yeah,
for you to
yeah,
send
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Because please do.
Yeah,
I
I will.
want to hear the '90s songs that you think
Yeah.
I would like. Because I think
Yeah, I will. I got
you
you.
know my style well enough to
I
give me
got
some
you,
good stuff.
yeah.
But I want to say like it's just funny because I think it's just an intuitive thing. Like I think that when you're making music and you're being yourself, it's not like you're trying to make X, Y, and Z. It's just that those things are what get made.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like
Absolutely.
sometimes having an objective is nice, but a lot of the magic is in the mystery of that creation.
Yeah, like
and
what am
finding
I? Where am I?
whatever's there.
Yeah, like what direction am I going? And then finally finding it and being
Yeah.
like, all right, bet. Yeah, that's what I'm meant to do.
And yeah, and
Just
like
kidding.
for me, like I think that like that's kind of what pulls the soul out of
Yeah,
it.
I know. Yeah, it's awesome.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think it's like
great.
allowing it to not be something that you meant to do.
Yeah,
makes
exactly.
it something that's an intuitive thing.
Yeah.
It's you being intuitive.
Yep.
You're naturally playing on like whatever it is you were doing.
Yeah,
and
just
feeling at
going
that
with it.
moment.
Gut.
Just go with your gut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gut music, man.
I think that that could
defines-
be gut music. Gut
Yeah.
music, you just said.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gut music is that's like that thing that you just feel it in the gut. Just you can play from the gut. You can you're not necessarily gonna play the right chords, but it's gonna work out because you're doing it without hesitation, and it's gonna be fucking awesome, and you're gonna make it the wrong chords work perfectly right. In a weird way, yeah, like
Because it's coming from
like a lot
soul.
of a lot of soul, like a lot of blues is very considered like gut music. It's not like so like boxed in.
Yeah.
Like real loose and you know, that kind of crazy shit where it's just like you just play from your fucking gut and you feel it and you play and you do it and it's awesome because you know it's from your gut and you know it's from the gut. A lot of like Louisiana, New Orleans type shit like that. Get a lot of like I've met a lot of gut music players. They're always awesome. Just no formal training at all, but just kill it. Like make anything better just by
some people
feeling
are
it.
Crazy good without any training, nothing.
Yeah.
On instruments that
Feeling it,
it doesn't even make sense that they'd be that good.
Yeah. I seen one of the dopest fucking washboard players one time in New Orleans. It was a girl. She was half crazy. Like one sock that was like rolled all the way down, different sock. Just like super eccentric, crazy. You could tell like she probably was like autistic or bipolar, like heavy bipolar, because she was like homeless and stuff, living on the streets. But dude, she came and played with this band, and she made the band like 10 times better, really? Just from this goddamn washboard, dude. I was like, this is so ill. Just killing it. Going wild over the band, dude. I was like, golly, damn. Like, shit. That's what's up. That's real.
Makes you realize, man, there's levels to this shit.
That's real.
There's levels to a washboard. There's levels to this shit.
Yeah, for real.
It's like if you saw somebody jamming on a cowbell, just making
just getting it and being awesome at it. Like, what?
Change your whole perspective on a cowbell.
the mad triangler. Just getting wild on a triangle. Doing shit that blows your mind. Oh my god. Shit.
Man, what do you love about music? What is it that draws you to making music? Why is it that you've continued to make music for so long?
I think just, the whole creative process, just figuring out, molding it, finding a sound, being inspired by other musicians and their sounds, and trying to just figure it out, you know, like try to figure out how to make things, make different sounds. Like there's certain bands that I just like absolutely love, like Square Pusher or something like that, and it's like he makes like these crazy fucking sounds that I've never heard any electronic artist ever do. He's got like this really cool way of like mixing, and so it's like just trying to figure out the techniques of how people do things and exploring my own way of making sound. You know, and then just watching the project like form, and it's like just seeing that whole end experience of just like, yeah, man, I'm feeling this, man, or being like, no, this one sucks. I learned from that, you know. Don't do that again.
Something about the process itself.
Yeah, the process.
Like you enjoy
itself.
just the creative process.
The start from start to finish, the process of it. Everything.
Yeah. There's something magical about creation, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's something magical about where all that can manifest itself from.
Like we were saying earlier, it's like therapy sometimes, I feel like, too.
Yeah.
Like you can get a lot of stuff out that you can, like, let it go. And then also, like, just, like, send it flying.
Yeah.
And it's, like, a good way to be able to be sarcastic and blow steam off, you know, and shit. Like, you can be fucking crazy. You can scream to the top of your fucking lungs if you want, you know.
You can do whatever you need to do.
Anything you want to do, and you need to do.
And I think that what's beautiful about it is it can mean different things to different people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it could mean that thing that, like you said, that guy, that conversation you had.
Yep.
Just the butterfly effect of that, where it's that one conversation inspired a whole career of music.
Yeah, it's wild.
I mean, just one thing you choose to put on one song could change
like maybe,
a whole avenue.
There's a song that you make where somebody hears it and they decide that they're not going to end their life that day because of that song.
Yeah.
You know, you never know. You never know who you're working for. And I like the whole idea of, and just like, I like what I like. And I know how to make what I like. So why not make it? and have fun and push myself.
I mean, I think that I've learned that I think that I can't remember who said it. I don't know where this quote came from, but basically the way to make yourself a weapon, the best way to weaponize yourself is to learn to communicate.
Yeah.
The best way possible. Like, learn to make your thoughts become a reality the best you can.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one thing that's beautiful about talking. It's one thing that's beautiful about making art, is that you're learning to communicate better and better and better and better and better.
Yes, absolutely.
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's rad.
It's a beautiful thing.
For sure.
I mean, I think that, like...
I think every, like, there's so many, countless numbers of different lyrics, song lyrics, that I'm just like, that's exactly how I feel. And I didn't know how to put it into words, but that's exactly how I feel. And it's just nice to be able to, like, gather those and, like, realize that other people are going through different things, or get, like, motivation, and not to take it too serious, brush your shoulder off, like dumb shit. So yeah, I think it's really cool to just, like, stay with providing tunes to whatever. People who don't even want to hear it. Nobody's gonna probably hear them, but, like,
I don't know, man. I think that,
there's
like
some kind of, like, worldwide thing that, like, just adding to it.
You never know, man. It could take one track. It could take one track. It could be one track of yours that you didn't think much of, like we've been saying.
Yep.
That like connects with people in a way you would have never imagined.
Exactly.
I mean, you never know. And the other thing is, like we're saying about getting better at expressing yourself. Like, I feel like, what you're putting into those songs, no one else can put into that but you. Yeah. No one else can put into my songs what I put into it but me. Yeah. And that's gonna resonate with somebody.
Your viewpoint,
for sure.
and it's solid, and a lot of people feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
So it's nice to, like, hear it and, like, try to provide some towards it,
Yeah, there's something beautiful about it, man. It's a beautiful thing. I think that, like, through creation, we inspire others to create.
Yes, absolutely.
I really think so.
Absolutely, I think it's 1,000.
It's kind of like one of the unintentional consequences of creation.
It's good, though.
Yeah, it's very good.
The ripple effect is pretty awesome. And it's like, you can even have haters, but it's all right, man, because somebody's going to like it, and it's okay. And it's going to change somebody's life. Somebody's going to see it and get inspired by it, and, like, that's great. Like, keep it going.
Yeah, I think we just get lost in this whole conversation of, like, should I or should I not?
Yeah.
To be or not to be. And in the end, you never have been.
Yeah.
You never did it.
You're just constantly hesitating.
Yeah,
just fucking go for it.
Just create, man.
Yeah, just go for it. Get your hands dirty. It's going to be all right. There's always water or something to clean your hands off. It's going to be okay.
Unless you're in, like, one of these states where it's a drought now.
Yeah, or something.
Maybe then just dry your hands with a towel.
Yeah. It's not going to kill you.
And keep them a little bit dirty. Just dry them with a towel. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Get your hands dirty.
Yeah, get your hands dirty. And hopefully wash them in some type of water fountain or something.
Or stick them in your friend's mouth when they're not looking.
That would work. That would work. If you got a buddy who's into hands, then you're set. Your hands are going to be clean for all winter.
And so this whole thing leads back to the fetishes.
Yeah! We went all the way back around, full circle. That's good. Because you know what? That would have been a great answer. One that's wild. Hands.
Hands.
Because hands
I'm
is...
into hands.
That one is out there. I know it is. But I haven't heard it much.
Oh, my God.
Like, somebody who, like, they're dating a hand model and their dreams are coming true.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's probably people who are, like, into amputation and shit like that, like, shit. The lack of hand.
Yeah.
That's what really does it for me.
Oh, baby, the fact that you don't have a hand, I love
Your nub is so hot.
Your nub, baby. I mean, actually, if you were the amputee, that'd probably be kind of nice.
I know, yeah.
You'd be feeling like, this is
$1
my
million
calling.
$1 Yeah, exactly. Like, I've met my soulmate. This is perfect.
Because, like, you probably feel self-conscious about it until that person says it, and you're like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. I'll show you my nub.
Yeah, check out this nub.
Touch it? Go for it. If it were me and I had a nub and someone was telling me they were turned on by it, dude.
Some of you have never had phantom limb syndrome, and it can show.
Yeah.
Showing.
Guys, your privilege is showing right now. It's out in the open. So I guess we could probably wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah, it was a bunch of funny little jibber jabber. Thanks for having me.
I want you to let the people know kind of just where they can find you, what they got to look forward to, if there's anything you want to leave them with.
Yeah, just I think July 15th we're doing a Buckham Gallery event, music, art, and that's about it. Spotify, Just Sweet's venue for Seth, and thanks for tuning in, and thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here, man.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching for this long. This was a good one. It was loaded with stuff. We did a whole, me and my boy Seth, we topped our previous record, Seth and I. We went over the 3-hour mark. What were we at last time? Do you know?
240 something. I don't know.
240. 240 sounds right. 2.5. But dude, 3 hours is great. Because the thing is, I'm never like really timing it, but I always feel proud if I pass it. 2 hours is good. 3 hours. Woo, we really podcasting out, baby. So I really appreciate you for being here. You guys for tuning in. It's super awesome to be able to do this, to be able to even live in a world where we have the opportunity to express ourselves in this way. And that's kind of what I want you to take home from this whole thing. If we're going to have a moral of the story, that's what it is that, you know, I'm able to sit here and talk about, I'm able to bring my friend in here and we can sit here and talk in front of microphones for 3 hours and 5 minutes and just chill. And we can find a way to make that something bigger than what it is. It's just a conversation, but it lives on beyond that. And I think that we all need to find ways to make our lives become that in different ways. Find ways to let your life live on beyond this moment. And for you, that might be different than somebody else, but it is so essential. It's the true key to fulfillment, if you ask me, is to find a way to let your legacy live on. And there's different sets of value that you can apply to art, but it's not about that. It's about what it means to you and if you truly accomplished what you seeked to accomplish.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
And pause for emphasis. That's another thing.
Boom! Ruse Radio, clocking out.